Sean Malone, the remains of a child found in the Stokey Township of Illinois are related to a kidnapping case that began in Deloge. I've got that story coming up.
We ask an expert about the newest release from ChatGPT.
These are supposed to be the most advanced models yet.
I'm Michael Calhoun with the latest. We ask an expert about the newest
This is
release
AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Partly sunny today, quite warm and humid. Watch out for a thunderstorm late, the high 90.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The man shot to death this week by federal agents in Houston had lived in the country for over 3 decades, but was not documented. Homeland Security says the 52-year-old father of 3 was not the intended target of the operation that ended in his death. Renewed tensions between the U.S. and Iran as American airstrikes continue. ABC's Louis Martinez covers the Pentagon for us at ABC.
They've been targeting anti-missile sites. They've been targeting radar locations. They've been targeting storage locations that are all involved in those attacks against the commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz, which is what triggered this new round of back and forth between the United States and Iran.
The Wall Street Journal reporting on recent Israeli intelligence showing new Iranian plot to assassinate President Trump. Could be more record-breaking hot weather across the country this weekend. Every section of the continental U.S. has now experienced one of those sweltering heat domes, another heat wave in Europe as well. This is ABC News. Democrats in Maine are beginning their sprint to nominate a new candidate for a key U.S. Senate seat. The drive after Graham Plattner was forced to pull his name off the ballot following allegations of sexual assault and sexual misconduct, which he adamantly denies. Democrats are expected to hold a nominating convention. A California family lucky to be alive after a close encounter with a bear at Lake Tahoe.
Cortland Coward says his daughters were packing up coolers in the garage for a 4th of July boat trip when they saw the bear going through the garbage.
The bear kind of came towards them.
Coward's grabbing bear spray he keeps by the garage door, and then
It was rushing me. The bear spray worked, and it worked on me too. It definitely worked because as the cloud of spray kind of came back towards me, gotta get a mask on.
He says he sees bears all the time near their Lake Tahoe vacation home, but this is the first time he's seen one acting aggressively.
ABC's Alex Stone. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
At 6:02, we have cloudy skies, 72 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Friday, July 10th. I'm Megan Lynch.
And I'm Debbie Monterrey. 2 individuals are in custody and facing parental kidnapping charges related to remains found in Illinois.
According to a post on the Deloge Police Department's Facebook page, 32-year-old Ronell Marquise Jones and 35-year-old Kirsty Dora are being held without bond while facing parental kidnapping and harassment charges. While the St. Clair County Coroner's Office has not identified the remains, the Deloge Police Department says they believe the remains belong to Jones's son, who he is accused of kidnapping. According to Jones's probable cause statement, the mother of the child contacted police on June 12th. She said in April of 2024, Jones allegedly drove off with the child in his car, and the mother has not seen her child since. The statement says Jones gave various answers to law enforcement when asked where the child was. He claimed the child was in the custody of the state before later saying he dropped him off at an Amish community in Mississippi where he would visit him. It was later determined through witnesses the child was deceased. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Detectives interviewed numerous individuals throughout the investigation. Detectives worked to verify multiple and often conflicting statements from both parents.
That's St. Louis City Police Chief Robert Tracy shedding light into the investigation of that missing child that began when the mother first reported her son missing to them in 2024. Tracy says his department is now conducting an internal investigation into the juvenile division.
This review will be carefully examined and what occurred. It will determine whether our policies, investigative standards, and expectations were met. If we identify mistakes, policy violations, or areas where we should have done better, I will ensure they are addressed.
Tracy says the department sought parental kidnapping charges in 2025, and those were rejected.
It's been less than 5 weeks since a teen takeover at Sky Zone turned into chaos. Another one is planned for tonight. A social media flyer circulating for an event at the Watson Road location starting at 5:30. Officers say they will be on hand. The June incident in Fenton involved roughly 300 kids, multiple fights, and spilled into neighboring businesses.
Governor Kehoe signs a package of bills into law that includes tougher penalties for drunk drivers who kill someone. Under a new measure called Bentley and Mason's Law, intoxicated drivers whose actions leave a child without a parent or guardian can be held financially responsible for that child's upbringing. The law also sets a minimum of 5 years in prison for some fatal DWI convictions and 10 years without parole for repeat offenders. A separate bill in the package requires adult websites to verify users' ages.
Federal money is coming to St. Louis for tornado debris removal, something the city's been fighting for since May of last year. FEMA announcing more than $586,000 heading to the city to help clear out debris, part of $11.2 million being given out across the Midwest. The city has been tangled with FEMA for months over what qualifies for reimbursement, with FEMA rejecting several of St. Louis's requests and critics saying the cleanup has moved too slowly. The same funding round includes more than $640,000 for the St. Louis Urban League for building repairs.
The CDC reports a record number of West Nile virus cases has been recorded for this time of year.
That news comes at the same time as word of St. Louis County's first positive sample of the West Nile virus was found in mosquitoes in Richmond Heights. An infectious diseases specialist at the Baylor College of Medicine, Dr. Peter Hotez, says protection begins by staying indoors during the early morning and evening hours. But if you must be outside, take precautions.
I try to get my 10,000 steps in, and I do walking early in the morning and in the evening. And what I do is I have a full hooded sweatshirt on and sweatpants and socks and sneakers and a hat. And then on the exposed areas, I put on insect repellent containing DEET on both the dorsal and palmar surface of my hands and around my neck.
The virus is usually spread through an infected mosquito bite and can result in a fever, body aches, joint pain, and vomiting. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
You don't have to travel very far to visit a state park. A new University of Missouri study found nearly half of Missouri park visitors travel more than 60 miles to get there. DNR Director Kurt Schaefer tells MissouriNet that's a sign the parks remain a destination for families and outdoor enthusiasts.
Just over 90% of the people that use Missouri state parks are actual Missourians, get about 10% from out of state. But I think that shows the value of what Missourians get for having 93 state parks and historic sites at their fingertips.
The study found Missouri's state park system generates more than $1.5 billion in economic activity each year while operating on a $68 million budget.
The CEO of the St. Louis Cardinals says they're excited to welcome Chef Kevin Nashin to Ballpark Village. Nashin opening the Clydesdale in the Budweiser Brew House and calls it Upscale Tavern.
We're going to do like a grilled trout with like chimichurri and crispy potatoes and cotejillas. Some non-traditional tavern-like offerings, delicious, wings. Of course, have burgers. We have a 8-ounce Wagyu blend that's like thicker burger. And then we have like the Village Smash, quintessential smash burger.
Nashin is a James Beard award-winning chef who also runs Sydney Street Cafe and Peacemakers.
It is 6:08. We'll take a break here and come back with traffic and weather. Stay with us on the Voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where 24-pack Crayola crayons are just 50 cents?
Staples has folders, notebooks, and pens at great prices.
I'm smiling from ear to ear.
It's the most wonderful time.
Mom, I missed the bus of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples, where school supplies start at just 25 cents. Staples. That was easy. Visit your local Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
I'm with Mark Cantor of Cantor Injury Law. And Mark, why is it so important for you to be a local law firm?
Well, being local means more than just advertising here, more than just a billboard on the highway. It means showing up here. It means supporting local events and local charities.
But why is local so important?
It's important because we know the law, we know the judges, we know the roads, and we understand the community.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertising.
You can count on Cantor. Visit cantorinjurylaw.com.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTRCM.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
It is 6:10. Let's see how things are moving on the roads. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, it look great out there right now, Megan. I'm not seeing any issues on the area highways, which is good. Obviously, the only delays we had, looks like the roadwork's been picked up eastbound 70 at Wright City's back on track. I'll keep tabs on it, see if it backs up again, but we had a jam there earlier, it thinned out, and I haven't seen any delays since. We have signals reportedly completely dark at 30 and High Ridge Boulevard, and they were saying initially that folks on 30 were not stopping. When there's no signals at all, you're supposed to treat it as a four-way stop, so you should stop in all directions, but apparently folks on Highway 30 aren't. So if you're on High Ridge Boulevard, just pay attention. You think maybe somebody is going to stop and they might not. You don't want to have a crash there. Other than that, in the roadwork zones, I don't see any delays. Like I said, out west, 70 coming in from Warrenton looks great. 255 on the Illinois side, 64 in Fairview Heights. Everything is light on the go for you so far. Next update at 6:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
A mix of sun and clouds today, very warm and humid with a high about 90. Look for a couple of strong to severe thunderstorms late this afternoon or tonight. Those thunderstorms can produce flooding downpours, damaging wind gusts, even an isolated tornado. Tonight's low 73. Tomorrow, plenty of clouds and not as warm but still humid. Look for a shower or two and maybe even a thunderstorm, high 83. For Sunday, intervals of clouds and sun, warm and humid. Still a risk of a thunderstorm in the afternoon, the high 87. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now, we have cloudy skies in downtown St. Louis at 72 degrees.
Not a good finish for the Card Series against the Brewers, and I'll tell you more about that in sports.
It is now 6:12. A man who abducted a woman from a Collinsville Starbucks parking lot at knife point and sexually assaulted her has been sentenced to 120 years in prison. 42-year-old Timothy Dubois Jr. was convicted in May and sentenced yesterday in Madison County. That attack happened in November of 2022. Dubois forced the victim into her own car, made her drive to Troy, where he assaulted her, then drove her back to Collinsville and vanished.
Investigators cracked the case using forensic genealogical DNA after finding a discarded condom on a gravel road in Troy. It's the first time the technology had been used in a Madison County case. Dubois must serve a minimum 68 years.
A man gets 16 years for domestic assault and assaulting a police officer in 2022. 44-year-old James Bryson sentenced yesterday for shooting a woman in the back while she jumped out of a moving vehicle he was driving because he was threatening to kill her. When officers found Bryson, he was in possession of meth and a handgun. While awaiting trial, Bryson assaulted a correctional officer at the St. Louis City Justice Center, punching and stabbing him several times. He has several prior convictions, including first-degree assault.
Some Metro East communities are opening the door to much smaller homes. Belleville just reversed restrictions on building or rehabbing smaller dwellings. Speaking on KMOX's Total Information AM, Ron Diedrich, local government affairs director with Illinois Realtors, explains the city is recrafting building and zoning codes to account for narrow lots and historic cottages in the 200-year-old town.
The 1,500 square foot home that is commonly built these days does not make sense in a Belleville, especially the older historic homes. So in some instances, you're going to need that smaller footprint in order to make it work.
Diedrich says other Southern Illinois towns are welcoming secondary housing units on the same residential lot as a single-family home to accommodate aging parents. He says that's increasing property values.
The redevelopment of St. Louis's oldest public housing complex kicks into high gear next week. Crews breaking ground at the Clinton Peabody Apartments on LaSalle Street, just south of Enterprise Center. They'll do that next Friday. It marks the beginning of Phase 1, which includes the construction of 3 apartment buildings, expected to add 89 multifamily units and take 18 months to complete, according to the Business Journal.
The first race of a new evening summer series got off to a rainy start 2 weeks ago. The new Summer Sizzle series features 4 short road races every other Thursday at 6:30. Mona Vespa, president of Go St. Louis, says luckily that first race just missed the storms.
We were laughing because we called it, instead of the Summer Sizzle, it was the Summer Drizzle, because we dodged some serious rainstorms the entire time.
Vespa says the weather didn't deter the several hundred people who still showed up. The next race is a 4-miler on July 23rd at 370 Lakeside Park in St. Peters.
Well, the Cardinals were wrapping up that long 5-game series with the Brewers last night at Busch Stadium, and they were hoping to gain some traction after a Wednesday win, which snapped a 4-game losing streak, which included the first 3 games to the Brewers. Andre Palante made the start for the Redbirds. He was getting knocked around early.
There's a ground ball base hit to right between first and second. And the Brewers are going to pick up another run. And on the third is Churio. So single, single, single is how the Brewers start the third inning. 3-0 Milwaukee.
That's how they started the third inning, but Jake Bauers delivered a big blow.
And won the count to Bauers. After that strike, next pitch, a curveball, and that's hammered over the head of Nootbaar and into the bullpen and right. And there's your big fly. A 3-run homer for Jake Bauers on a ball that was hung in the middle of the plate by Palante.
Lars Nootbaar got the Cards on the board. This one came in the 4th inning.
Artistic to watch. There's a line drive base hit. Center field for Lars Nootbaar. And coming home and scoring from second base is Alec Burleson. And the Cardinals are on the board as Nootbaar picks up his 9th RBI by driving that pitch right through the box.
The All-Star Jordan Walker announced earlier Thursday that he'll be taking part in this year's All-Star Home Run Derby. In the 6th, he gave the Cardinals fans a preview.
Jordan saying before the game that he has not been in a home run derby for a long time. He's going to do it, of course, in Philadelphia. He said, I'm going to need to practice that. I just as soon he practice right now.
Yeah, exactly. This is a good way to get started.
Patrick,
maybe we get one of those loaded balls they're going to use on Monday night, too. See how far he can hit it.
The 3-2, a swing, and there's a drive. Left field. It's out. Bonner and Big McLaren are off the facing. He drove that one out of here, and the Cardinals indeed are right back in the game. They're down by 2 in the 6th inning. That's a great way to practice for Monday night in Philadelphia.
The Brewers tacked on a run in the 7th inning, and then the Cardinals put 2 on in the 8th. This came ahead of Lars Nootbaar at the plate.
Many of the fans stand here at Busch Stadium. The runner goes. The pitch is swung on, and there's a high pop fly, short right center. Terang, the second baseman, makes the catch, and the Cardinals strand 2. We go to the 9th.
Couldn't score there. One more for the Brewers in the 9th inning. And Jose Fermin walked with 2 outs in the bottom of the inning. But the Brewers, Abner Uribe, he closed it out.
The 2-2 pitch. Ground ball up the middle of the infield. Frelick has it. Throws to first. This ballgame has come to an end. And the Brewers took 4 out of 5 in this series.
So the Brewers, as you heard, take the series here in St. Louis. The Cardinals will wrap up this proverbial first half of the season. It's a 3-game set with the Atlanta Braves this weekend at Busch. That will lead right into the All-Star break. Kyle Leahy will face Chris Sale tonight. Neither pitcher worked in the series last week in Atlanta, where the Cards took 2 out of 3. First pitch tonight is 7:15. Ameren Total Access is at 6:20. Next sports update comes up at 6:45. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
If you've been told that you need a new heating and cooling system for your home, and if you've gotten prices or you're going to get prices, call me. Try to stay away from the word high efficiency or efficiency. If you replace your system now and it's 12, 15, or 20 years old, you are greatly improving the efficiency just by replacing the old, inefficient unit. Do not be fooled. If you want a common sense approach and you just want your house cooled, I will help you. If you're good with that, call me. One easy number. It's Missouri and Illinois. The easiest of numbers, 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, inmanwithanI.com. God bless.
You work hard, follow the rules, and get absolutely slammed by taxes. Your paycheck taxed, your property taxed, everything you buy taxed. Missouri's tax system isn't broken, it's rigged against you. The lawyers and lobbyists working for big corporations and the super rich buried over 200 loopholes for themselves in our tax code. While they pay nothing on the services they use, working families are taxed over and over. It's no wonder they're lying about Amendment 5. Our corrupt tax system is rigged in their favor. They're getting a free ride on your back. Don't believe their lies. The truth is, Amendment 5 closes loopholes exploited by the super rich and slashes taxes paid by Missouri's working families, phasing out income taxes and cutting property taxes. They finally pay what they owe while you keep what you earn. Vote yes on Amendment 5. Paid for by Missouri Promise PAC.
Now the news at 1 the fun. It's the Dave Glover Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 6:20 and it's time for us to check traffic and weather. Kind of a cloudy morning out there. What does the weather have in store? We'll check after we check in with Roger Brand, who's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, hopefully the weather is going to be better here than it is out to the southwest of us, Debbie, with these storms training through. I mean, we've had a lot of, even in the immediate metro area, we've had a lot of rescue crews, swift water rescue crews staging with boats getting ready to head out if they need to assist in, it's primarily Reynolds, Iron, and Washington counties where they have flash flood warnings. I know there's a water rescue along the Kirchhoys Creek right now in the 11,700 block of Bailey Branch Road. That's down in Potosi. That's the one that's currently active, and they are sending a bunch of crews down into the Lesterville area. There's a lot of campgrounds, Black River lodges down there. So there's some areas that are definitely suffering some difficulties. I don't know of any roads closed at this time, but we'll try to keep tabs on that. The roads around our area look great. Like I said, interstates, even in the work zones, light traffic, so there are no delays. Everything's on the go for you on both sides of the river right now. Next update at 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Honey, I found the one.
Oh, I thought I was the one.
Oh, you are, but this one's certified, background check, shows up on time, and can install all the ceiling fans.
Heating, cooling, electrical, and plumbing. Trusted pros who do it right.
Roger Brand just mentioned the possibility of storms. It's going to be warm and humid with a chance of severe thunderstorms late this afternoon. Expect a high today of 90 and a low tonight around 73. Right now, cloudy, 72 downtown at the Arch.
If you haven't yet checked out the Mill Creek Black Metropolis exhibit at the Missouri History Museum, your time is running out. That's going to be the last weekend for this exhibit. Gwen Moore is the curator of urban landscape and community identity for the Missouri Historical Society and the Missouri History Museum. And Gwen, how many people have gone through this exhibit so far?
Well, so far, there's been 120,770.
That is amazing. And it has...
Yeah, that's quite a number.
Yeah, and it's been like a matter of months, not years.
Yes. We opened November the 15th of 2025, closing July the 12th.
A whole weekend of festivities and different activities that people can check out for sure. And this has been for sure a labor of love for you, not only in your role at the Missouri Historical Society and the Missouri History Museum, but you grew up in Mill Creek Valley.
I did, my early youth. My parents lived in Mill Creek, my grandparents, all my aunts and uncles, so my whole family were Mill Creek natives. I guess you could say it was a passion project, something that I had been working on for years.
The unfortunate thing is because the neighborhood was essentially just razed, there's really hardly a trace of it left, that a lot of people forgot it existed, or maybe they heard things about it that were maybe not the whole picture. So what are things that you're hearing, or, as you see people go through it, that maybe people are discovering for the first time?
That's true. A lot of people said that they had never heard of Mill Creek, and they said they grew up in St. Louis and didn't know anything about it. Other people had sort of vague memories. And those people that do remember it the way it was portrayed at the time, that it was a slum and that the people were slum dwellers, and that was the narrative. And that was the narrative that I wanted to correct. So I wanted to show more of this community. I wanted people to see this community through the eyes of the people that live there and through the experiences of the people that live there, and tell a more balanced narrative of the community.
Now, I've been through the Mill Creek exhibit several times, and I'm at the museum a lot. And every time I walk past, it's like there's a reunion going on. Are you finding that too?
Yes, it's really interesting because people that lived in Mill Creek and remember that, maybe they grew up there, or they tell me their mothers or their fathers lived there, and we have a lot of moving images, and on some occasions people will say they knew the people that were in those images because they're home movies. So it really has been like a reunion, I think, for a lot of people. And even when I give tours, people might mention things that they remember about this community.
Can you talk about some of the activities that are going to be going on this weekend? Because again, this is going to be people's last chance to check this out.
Yes. On Friday, we're going to have what we call a Mill Creek After Hours Homecoming, and it'll just be a lot of fun. It'll be like a big party. We're going to have a DJ that will be playing music. I'll say a few remarks, not much. And there will be a dance tribute to Josephine Baker, who, of course, was a Mill Creek resident. That Saturday, we're going to have a night at Peacock Alley. And, of course, Peacock Alley was that legendary jazz club. But some of the biggest names in jazz played there. Max Roach, Carmen McRae, Dave Brubeck, of course, Miles Davis. So it was a magnet, an entertainment magnet. And then on Sunday, we're having a play. It's called Morning Mill Creek. That is sold out.
Well, absolutely stop by, folks, because it is free to go through the exhibit, and it closes Sunday, so don't miss out. It's called Mill Creek Black Metropolis. It's at the Missouri History Museum in Gwen Moore. Thanks for putting this together and teaching many of us, or reminding many of us, of what Mill Creek was.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
It is 6:26. That time check sponsored by Jerry Kelley Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Let's take a break.
Good idea.
Hey, Tom, what are you doing on that Amendment 4?
You know, we fought for our freedom and rights. I'm not giving them away without a fight.
4 takes them?
That's exactly what 4 does. For over 100 years, Missouri voters have used our constitutional power to act when the politicians refused. I'll be darned if I'm voting to pass on less freedom and power to my kids.
And doesn't 4 also kill majority rule?
Yup. Creates minority rule, or just 5% of the most liberal statewide voters in one Missouri congressional district that block any citizen-led reform, making it nearly impossible to pass common-sense conservative citizen ballot measures.
That's crazy town stuff.
And we've needed our citizen ballot measure power to pass some big conservative stuff, like outlawing tax hikes without voter approval, lobbyist reforms, and term limits for career politicians.
No way I'm letting a tiny fraction of liberals derail our conservative power. I'm no on Amendment 4.
Hard no on 4.
Pay 4 buttons or inch, prepare governance.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people, pets, and bees. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour, and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly. Find wherever weed killers are sold.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just 1 visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
Closeout season is heating up at Seidenstricker Nobe Partners with sizzling hot summer savings on John Deere compact tractor packages. For a limited time, get $6,600 off the S&P price on a John Deere 5050E with a loader, plus 0% financing with zero down. Find compact tractor package savings at snpartners.com. Seidenstricker Nobe, your partner for the land.
Offer valid through 8/31/2026. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Is your financial advisor working more for your retirement or for his? Find out the real story behind the financial industry with Greg Ayler, Saturdays at 1 on Fire Your Financial Advisor.
At 6:30, we have cloudy skies, 72 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch.
I'm Debbie Monterrey, and here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, there's more folks on the highways, but it's really not evidenced in any slow going right now, which is great news if you're headed out the door. We do have a crash downtown. One place we're seeing delays is northbound 55 near the Poplar Street Bridge, a minor crash. So they may have a lane blocked. It's out of my viewpoint, but there is a backup building there just back to about Park Avenue right now so that's eastbound 44 as you head into downtown. So just be advised of that, but that's the only interstate delay I'm seeing right now. Like I said, not enough volume that even in the work zones, we still look okay. 70 coming in from out west, Warrenton, 270 between 64 and Ladue looks great. 64 through Fairview Heights and westbound 255 between or westbound 5570 rather between 255 and 203 all still on the go. Next update at 6:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We'll have a mix of sun and clouds today, warm and humid, a high of 90, and then we could see some severe thunderstorms late this afternoon into tonight, an overnight low of 73, mostly cloudy, not as warm but humid. Tomorrow, a couple of showers and a thunderstorm possible, a high of 83. Right now, 72 downtown at the Arch.
2 people are in custody facing kidnapping charges related to remains of a child found in Illinois.
According to a post on the Deloge Police Department's Facebook page, 32-year-old Ronell Marquise Jones and 35-year-old Kirsty Dora are both in custody and face kidnapping and harassment charges. Jones is identified as the father of the child in the post. According to a probable cause statement, Jones was taken into custody on June 30th after the mother of the child contacted authorities saying she had not seen her son since April of 2024. She told police the child was last seen with Jones in his car and missing teeth before Jones drove off. While interviewed by law enforcement, Jones gave multiple excuses to the child's whereabouts, including claims the child was in the custody of the Children's Division, to saying he was left with an Amish community in Mississippi where Jones periodically visited him. It was determined through witness statements the child was deceased. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
St. Clair County Coroner's Office hasn't yet identified the remains, but the Deloge Police Department says they are believed to be that of the child.
Stookie Township residents were shocked to learn the remains of a child were found in their area.
That's a shame. You know, I feel sorry for the family.
Do things like that happen in Stookie Township often?
No, never.
Oh, we don't have anything like that. That's pretty shocking. That's so terrible. I've lived around here for like 7 years, so I haven't heard of anything like that going on. It's pretty quiet. Don't hear a lot of noise coming through here, so that's kind of scary to hear.
Stookie Township, located in St. Clair County, west of Belleville.
Amid cuts from the federal government, feeding those in need has become increasingly difficult. Matthew DeKinder with Jewish Family Services in St. Louis County says they are getting by, still able to feed those in need, but only because of the generosity of others. DeKinder says despite these donations helping them in the short term, the lack of federal funding continues to create long-term uncertainty.
We can't project into the future, how generous the community is going to continue to be. And, the strain that our clients are feeling, everybody's feeling.
Anyone wishing more information or to donate can go to jfsstl.org.
The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. It's 6:34.
Before YouTube DIY videos, before skip ad, before don't forget to like and subscribe, there was KMOX. And this Saturday, we're still at your service. At 8, the Garden Hotline with Michelle Reeser-West, sponsored by Chesterfield Valley Nursery. At 11, the Home Improvement Show with Rich Oryx, sponsored by Mosby Building Arts. So, skip the videos and get it done right. KMOX is at your service, starting Saturday at 8.
You feel it every time you check out. Prices up, paychecks stretched, families squeezed. That's why Ann Wagner's fighting to get government off your back and out of your way. Wagner passed the largest tax cut in American history, expanded child tax credits, ended taxes on tips, overtime, and Social Security. And Wagner is working to lower costs so families keep more of their hard-earned money. But Ann Wagner knows delivering from Missouri means more than just protecting their wallets. It means protecting our streets as well. That's why Wagner fought to secure our border, deport dangerous illegal aliens, partner with law enforcement, and put predators behind bars and off our streets so our neighborhoods and communities stay safe. Because real effective leadership protects what matters most: your money, your family, your safety. Ann Wagner for Congress.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
It is 6:35. We're 5 minutes away from our next check of the weekend weather, as well as Friday morning traffic. First, it's time for Your Money Report, sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano, Elder Law Attorneys.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Volkswagen is cleaning out its garage. Europe's biggest car maker plans to cut its model lineup by as much as half as it tries to streamline its operations and cut costs. VW offers roughly 150 model lines across its brands. That includes Audi and Porsche. As you get ready for your trading day, geopolitics are in focus. Wall Street is watching the Middle East. Talks between the U.S. and Iran are continuing following 2 days of clashes. S&P futures are down 8 points. However, Dow futures are rising 75. And FedEx is making a bigger push into healthcare. FedEx is launching a dedicated business that will be focused on transporting pharmaceuticals, medical devices, biologics, and other critical healthcare shipments. FedEx Life Sciences will move everything from temperature-sensitive medicines to time-critical packages that can make a difference for patients. FedEx says it already generates nearly $10 billion a year from healthcare shipping. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Bill, that's a big smile for an old politician.
I'm thinking about our plan. It's slick enough to make a lobbyist blush. First, we hoodwink voters with Amendment 5. Tell them it's a tax cut. Once they're hooked, we decide who pays the higher taxes.
So it's not a tax cut plan, and we don't get a say?
Right, just swaps who pays the tax, but it does remove 3 voter-passed taxpayer constitutional protections. That lets us levy new taxes on services, increase sales taxes, and even tax home sales. And voters will no longer get to vote on tax hikes.
Higher sales taxes on groceries, gas, service taxes on doctor visits, childcare, and even rent on apartments. Jeez. Taxes could exceed 20%.
Sure, they figure that up to 80% of taxpayers will pay more taxes. Many, hundreds more. Seniors, they'll get hit even harder. But our big donors will cut a fat hog.
The ones getting butchered by Amendment 5 are most taxpayers. I'm voting no on 5.
Paid for by Missourians for fair taxation.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Giddy
Giddy up! It's the Cardinal Cowboy. Don't let garage door problems bench your summer plans. From repairs, tune-ups, and replacements, Renner Garage Door hits a grand slam every time. Score a free repair or replacement quote today, plus $100 off a new garage door. Featuring trusted brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster, Renner delivers the quality, reliability, and performance your home can count on. RennerDoorSTL.com. Forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Today,
the Cards, the Braves.
Hamlin Total Access 620. First pitch 7:15.
Cardinals Radio. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Traffic and weather coming up. First in the news, the U.S. and Iran continue to engage in technical negotiations following 2 days of retaliatory strikes against Tehran this week. The Wall Street Journal reporting Israel recently shared intelligence with the U.S. about a new Iranian plot to assassinate President Trump. At the NATO summit in Turkey earlier this week, Trump spoke about Iranian threats against him, saying he's on every list. Those comments came shortly before the president departed Turkey in the older Air Force One plane instead of the newly retrofitted jet gifted by Qatar. Earlier this week, sources told ABC News the Secret Service urged the president to make the switch.
And a not guilty plea from the Olympic canoeist charged with felony destruction of property at the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool. 67-year-old David Hearn appeared for 13 minutes in D.C. Superior Court yesterday. His attorneys trying to prove Hearn is being vindictively prosecuted as a result of the Trump administration's failures with the reflecting pool renovations. It's 6:40.
Let's get the latest on the roads for you. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, the highways aren't bad so far this morning. Light traffic on a Friday as per usual, at least in the morning anyway. This traffic reports the service of the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. So if you're headed out the door right now, the only place we have delays is as you head into downtown on eastbound Highway 44. We have that crash, minor crash before the Poplar Street Bridge. The right lanes are shut down there. So it's a backup, pretty solid backup now at Park Avenue on eastbound 44. But like I said, other than that, the highways are quiet. 30 at High Ridge Boulevard. They said the signals were dark a little while ago. I'm not seeing any real delays through there. It's just a little busy approaching 270 on eastbound 30 right now, so that's not bad. Out west 70 in the Warrenton area looks good into Wright City. 270 through 64 in Ladou's fine. 255 or 5570 rather. West of 255 fine through those construction areas. Next update at 6:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. We're partners committed to you, your business, and your community. From family law to litigation, we're ready to serve. Visit sandbergphoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
It is now going on 6:42. It just seems a little cloudy, although possibly a tad bit of clearing out there at the moment. But let's see what the day and the weekend have in store. Joe Lundberg is our AccuWeather meteorologist. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Debbie. A lot of clouds now. You're right. There a little bit of sun trying to get through those clouds. We'll see enough of it that temperature will head toward 90, and it's a very tropical air mass. We do think that there'll be thunderstorms eventually. Probably not this morning and probably not early this afternoon, but as we get deeper into the afternoon, and especially tonight, I think a couple of them will wander through. And those can be severe. With so much water in the atmosphere, we're very concerned about the risk of flash flooding, damaging wind gusts, and maybe a threat of tornadoes overnight, the low 73. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, not as warm, but still humid. Lower 80s, couple of showers, maybe a heavier thunderstorm in the area, so not a great start to the weekend. It's a little better Sunday with clouds and sun, warm but humid. Still a risk for an afternoon thunderstorm, high 87. And then it dries out for the beginning of next week and starts to heat up with sunshine Monday, upper 80s, probably low 90s with sunshine on Tuesday. 73 at St. Peter, 74 in Florissant, 74. Yeah, I would call it mostly cloudy downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
We'll hear from Jordan Walker coming up. We'll also hear from the St. Louis and Taylor Twellman on the World Cup. That's straight ahead in sports.
First in the news, one of GM's last sedans scores poorly in a new series of crash tests. Jeff Gilbert in Detroit with what we need to know.
The Cadillac CT5 marked down for inadequate crash prevention technology. Insurance Institute for Highway Safety Vice President Jessica Jermakian says there were also some problematic crash tests.
The Cadillac CT5 had challenges in both our moderate overlap test, where the rear occupant had some challenges with potential for head and neck injury and chest injury. It also had struggled in our side impact crash.
Meanwhile, the Institute giving 4 more vehicles top safety pick plus honors. They're the Audi A6, BMW X1, Mazda CX-5, and Subaru Crosstrek Hybrid.
Most Americans aren't overly impressed with AI and space exploration. According to a new Harris poll, nearly 8 in 10 Americans say the country is innovating in the wrong areas, not because they oppose innovation, but because corporate focus rarely aligns with real-world community needs. 89% say they're more likely to trust a company's innovation claims when they can see the benefits in their own communities.
A giant leap forward for artificial intelligence. KMOX's Michael Calhoun explains the newest advance.
OpenAI is rolling out its new GPT 5.6 series, a trio of powerful models that come with a major voice upgrade, but not before the U.S. government stepped in to review the tech first. CNET AI reporter Caitlin Shadrowi says she understands the fear surrounding AI because of its accelerated development, but offers this reassurance.
These AI companies are pretty invested in making sure that their products are safe, if only because they don't want to be responsible for a major disaster. So while there are certainly going to be some challenges along the way as we're using and developing this new technology, there are a lot of people invested in making it safe.
Shadrowi says the biggest difference is this model mimics natural conversation patterns with the ability to both talk and listen simultaneously. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Who's Hot is sponsored by St. Louis Composting, Growing Gardens, and Making Memories. Cardinals outfielder Jordan Walker continues to prove why he's earned that first career All-Star selection. Walker's hit in 4 straight games and 9 of 10 games in the month of July. In fact, he's hitting .353 for the month with an OPS of 1.246 with 4 home runs. Yesterday, Walker announced he'll participate in Monday's All-Star Home Run Derby. And he spoke about it before the game.
I don't know what to expect, honestly. I don't think you really know what to expect, but I thought it would be fun. I mean, I would like to have tried it at least once, and this is my chance, so of course I'm going to take it.
Walker said he'll need to do a little prep work before taking the Home Run Derby stage Monday night.
I would like to practice because home run derbies are a lot harder than they look. I did a few in high school, and it didn't turn out the way I thought it was going to, so I definitely need to practice for it. KT will be throwing to me because like it's BP, so we're definitely going to practice, I think, either tomorrow or Saturday. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Well, last night in the series finale with the Brewers, he was swinging like he didn't need any practice.
The 3-2, a swing, and there's a drive. Left field, it's a Donner and Big McLaren. Well, off the facing, he drove that one out of here, and the Cardinals indeed are right back in the game. They're down by 2 in the 6th inning. That's a great way to practice from Monday night in Philadelphia.
Tonight, Kyle Leahy will take the mound as the Cardinals start a series with the Atlanta Braves at Busch Stadium. First pitch comes up at 7:15. Pre-game coverage gets started at 6:20. Well, France is into the World Cup semifinals, and the rest of the last 4 will be decided by the end of the day tomorrow. Following the U.S. exit in the round of 16, Jen Cease has more now with St. Louis and Taylor Twellman.
St. Louis native, former U.S. men's national team forward, and current Apple TV MLS analyst Taylor Twellman says the U.S. World Cup exit should not automatically mean another coaching change. Instead, Twellman says Mauricio Pochettino deserves the opportunity to lead a true World Cup cycle after taking over too late to fully prepare this team.
United States Soccer Federation hired him too late. The biggest issue for the way preparation went for the World Cup, they didn't take advantage of Copa America in their backyard. They were the first Copa America host to get grouped. They didn't have World Cup qualifying. So the 3.5 years preparation for 26, it wasn't at its best.
Twellman believes the next cycle gives Pochettino a much fairer evaluation.
So now 2030 is coming around. You've got World Cup qualifying. That's going to help. You've got the Gold Cups and all of that. So it's going to be a little bit more like real preparation for that.
Twellman spoke Thursday while preparing for this week's American Century Championship Celebrity Golf Tournament in Lake Tahoe. Jen Cease, KMOX Sports.
Next sports update comes up at 7:15. I'm Joe Pott, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
St. Louis Composting, Growing Gardens, Making Memories. Tom Ackerman for St. Louis Composting. I've been a customer for the last couple of years. We had mulch delivered to our home earlier this spring. It's already been spread. Now's the perfect time for that. the perfect time to refresh your entire landscape with a fresh layer of mulch in your flower beds and around your trees. It is the fastest way to make your yard pop with a beautiful, well-kept look. St. Louis Composting has 9 retail locations all over the area. I didn't realize that when I first started talking about them. 9 locations all over the area, so there's one close to you. But you know what we did? We had the mulch delivered. You can just go to stlcompost.com. You can pick out the type of mulch you want. You can use their material calculator to figure out how much soil or mulch your project requires, and then they'll bring it to your home. stlcompost.com. St. Louis Composting, growing gardens, making memories.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX. Total Information AM. The news continues on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's now 6:50. Let's see how things are rolling out there. Roger Brand is watching the roads from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Steve Butts and the entire Crawford Butts family wish America a very happy 250th. We still have our trouble downtown, Megan, on eastbound 44 with that crash before the Poplar Street Bridge. The right lanes are shut down. Eastbound 44 jammed. Back pretty close to 55. So if you're coming up 55 as you round the bend there, just be prepared. Traffic's coming to a halt pretty quickly, trying to get around that incident. That is the only interstate incident we have. Again, generally light traffic on a Friday morning. So the rest of the highways look good, even in the construction zones on both sides of the river. I'm not even seeing any slowdowns as of yet. And the last check, we had signals reportedly out at 30 at High Ridge Boulevard. So please treat that as a 4-way stop. As America celebrates its 250th anniversary, Steve Butts and everyone at Crawford Butts Insurance extend their heartfelt wishes for a safe and joyous summer of celebration. For generations, Crawford Butts has been proud to serve the community. Steve Butts and the entire Crawford Butts family wish America a very happy 250th. Next update at 6:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It's going to be sun and clouds today with a high of 90 humid degrees, but the big story will be a couple of strong to severe thunderstorms late this afternoon into tonight. Those could produce flooding downpours, damaging wind gusts, even an isolated tornado. Then that's going to push the hot temperatures out because tomorrow's high just 83 degrees with mostly cloudy skies and a couple of showers and thunderstorms around. Right now, it is mostly cloudy and 73 degrees downtown.
The news continues at 6:52. Charter Communications closing its operations center in town and country by September 8th. According to a filing with the state, that will mean 107 layoffs. Charter is now based in Connecticut and did not cite a reason for the closure. The former St. Louis-based company now operates as Spectrum.
3 years after a deadly truck crash in southern Illinois, there's a new federal grant to expand semi-truck parking. Congressman Mike Boss points to the 2023 wreck near Highland in the Metro East where a Greyhound bus left the interstate and hit a parked tractor trailer. Boss notes that federal investigators later tied that crash to a shortage of truck parking.
The major contributing factor in the collision between the bus and the tractor trailer, according to the report, was due to lack of a proper place for the truck to park. Because of that, the driver had to make a decision and park on the off-ramp like we see so many of them do right now.
Bost is the lead Republican sponsor of the Truck Parking Safety Improvement Act. The new grant is to add parking at the Fort Massac and Salt Kettle rest areas using more than $13 million in federal funding.
A Republican Illinois lawmaker is calling for a Democratic colleague to resign after her federal indictment. Assistant Minority Leader C.D. Davidsmeyer of Jacksonville says the alleged scheme against State Representative Carol Ammons of Urbana shows how state grant money can be abused.
The Democratic majority slush fund has come back to bite them in the face. Rep. Ammons allegedly secured state grants for local organizations like Hood Votes while using those funds to pay her daughter. This pattern of alleged criminal behavior makes it clear that the Ammons family has repeatedly defrauded taxpayers for their own benefit. This unethical and possibly criminal behavior seems to be a family affair.
Prosecutors allege Ammons and her daughter received more than $100,000 in benefits. Ammons hasn't publicly responded to the charges. House Speaker Chris Welch has stopped short of calling for her resignation, but has removed her from committees and caucus meetings while the case plays out.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement. It's your birthday.
Today's KMOX birthday shout out sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back. And celebrity birthdays for this Friday, July 10th include folk singer Arlo Guthrie, 79 years old today. Baseball Hall of Famer Andre Dawson, 72. Actor Fiona Shaw is 68. And singer-actress Jessica Simpson, 46.
Local celebrity birthdays include Lisa Olsas, Anna Buckite from the Springs, Judy Benton from Marianne and Willie, Dodo Mooney from your IWA class of 78 friends, Marie Paget and Meredith Slick Lucas and Swansea are celebrating today. So is Lynn Williamson. Happy birthday wishes to our friend down the hall, Judith Anderson, Rhonda Tempia from the Life Group, Karen Aresti, Alex Fees, and Carol Shugart.
This is the best birthday ever.
Let me tell you one of the reasons I think we became the largest injury firm in the world, and it's not even close. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My wife and I had a plan early on. In our firm, our lawyers only work on certain types of cases. Our products liability and dangerous drug lawyers only work on those cases. Same for car crashes, workers' compensation, medical malpractice, and insurance disputes. Our thinking is for these lawyers to focus on one area of the law and live it and breathe it. Power comes from knowledge. Many lawyers do everything, jack of all trades. Not us. And we don't charge an hourly rate. You only pay us if we win. If you want to hire us, it's easy. Dial Pound Law on your cell phone, pound 529, or visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer from the comfort of your own home. Let us get to work for you. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
You don't need a lab coat to change the future of cancer. You just need to show up. From first-time riders to lifelong champions, from corporate teams to kids. Pedal the Cause brings together thousands who put their hope into action. Ride, volunteer, lead a team, support a rider, because cures don't happen by chance. They happen when a community takes action. We are the answer to cancer. Join us at pedalthecause.org.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores.
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-909-9696. 800-909-9696.
Let's check the roads with with Roger Brand. He's in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center. How's it look, Roger?
Well, in the immediate metro area, Megan, it's doing okay. If you're traveling in, the only trouble spot we have is downtown on eastbound 44, and it looks like they may have cleared it because it was jammed 10 minutes ago. Now I'm just seeing more of a slowdown coming through Park Avenue. The back end's a little backed up, but it's opening up as you approach the Poplar Street Bridge, so that's good news. It looks like they may have that cleared at least to the shoulder. There are still delays there, though, on eastbound 44. Again, the rest of these area interstates on both sides of the river are light and on the go, even in the construction zone. So there are no other delays right now. Of course, down to the south of us, we have lots of water rescues. Highway N near Tom's Hawk Mountain is shut down. And in Middlebrook near Elephant Rock State Park is closed due to flooding. And there's a lot of swift water rescues underway in those Dent, Iron, Washington County areas because of it. Next update at 7:10 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Today is Friday. It is July the 10th. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
I'm Sean Malone. How are the remains of a child found in Illinois related to a kidnapping an hour south of St. Louis? I've got that story coming up.
I'm Megan Lynch.
This is KMOX Health Editor Fred Bottomer. St. Louis County sees its first positive sample of the West Nile virus in Richmond Heights. Some mosquito protection advice is coming up.
I'm Joe Pott. Cards have just one series left before the All-Star break as the Braves come to town to start a series tonight. More on that coming up in sports.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. A mix of sun and clouds today, quite warm but humid with a late-day thunderstorm and a high near 90.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. The voice of St. Louis.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The sound of wildfires in southern Spain, spurred by days-long heat wave, have killed 11 people, many of them found in burned-out cars as the fire spread very quickly. Nearly 1,000 flights in this country canceled as extreme weather, including widespread flash flooding, slams parts of the East Coast. The Harris County, Texas DA's office in Houston planning to investigate on its own the ice-involved shooting death of a man who was undocumented but had lived in the United States for 30 years.
Investigators will look at from a criminal perspective whether the original stop of the vehicle was legally justified and whether the amount of force that was used by the law enforcement personnel was appropriate for the threat that was presented at the time.
ABC News contributor and former DHS official John Cohen continued back and forth attacks, repeatedly threatening the ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran. Iran responding by targeting U.S. bases. This is ABC News. Still more questions surrounding the death of Nolan Wells, the 18-year-old who died after a 4th of July event with friends on a popular undeveloped island off Mississippi. Police say the friends left the island without Wells, whose body was found 2 days later.
We haven't heard from investigators really since Monday of this week. That was the last time the sheriff actually did an on-camera interview, and it was an interview with ABC News, and that's when he said that he had not seen anything at that point that indicated a crime was committed. Well, we now know that comment has led to a firestorm of criticism on social media and online, many arguing the law enforcement there in Mississippi is not handling this case the way they should.
ABC's Alex Perez. The European Union is accusing Meta of breaching its social media laws by designing Facebook and Instagram to get users hooked. The EU demanding Meta disable key addictive features like infinite scrolling or face a hefty set of fines. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
At 7:02, we have cloudy skies, 72 degrees downtown at the Arch. This is Friday, July 10th. I'm Megan Lynch.
And I'm Debbie Monterrey. New this morning, additional details have been revealed related to the remains of a child found in Illinois.
According to a post on the Deloge Police Department's Facebook page, 2 arrests have been made related to the remains of the child found in Illinois. 32-year-old Ronell Marquise Jones and 35-year-old Kirsty Dora, both of St. Louis, are in custody and facing kidnapping and harassment charges. Jones was arrested on June 30th. According to the probable cause statement, the mother of the child contacted authorities last month, saying her child has been missing since April of 2024 and was last seen with Jones in Deloge. The mother said her child was inside Jones's car and missing teeth before Jones drove off with the child. During an interview with police, Jones gave a range of excuses when asked where the child was, including saying he was in the custody of the state, to claiming he left the child with an Amish community in Mississippi and would visit him from time to time. Investigators during the interview determined the child was deceased through witness statements. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Neither the St. Clair County Coroner's Office or law enforcement have identified publicly the child. Deloge police say both Jones and Dora are being held without bond.
I have heard the concerns raised by the child's mother. We understand her grief. We understand her frustration. We understand that she has some answered questions.
That's audio of St. Louis City Chief of Police Robert Tracy, courtesy of Fox 2, responding to the mother of the missing child who spent years online begging police to take action against her ex-husband, who's charged with kidnapping. Tracy says in response to those questions, they're opening an internal investigation.
We also understand our community expects transparency and accountability from this department. This is why I've ordered an internal affairs investigation into the Juvenile Division's 2024 response.
Tracy says the police department sought parental kidnapping charges in 2025, but those were rejected by the circuit attorney's office.
Could it be a crazy night at Sky Zone in Fenton? A flyer circulating on social media is calling for another teen takeover at the trampoline park tonight. St. Louis County Police say they're aware of it and will have officers in the area. Last month, a similar event at the location in Shrewsbury drew 300 unaccompanied kids dropped off by their parents and resulted in 8 fights and a 12-year-old who showed up in an Uber carrying a butcher knife.
The Jewish Family Services Food Bank adjusting to the ever-changing federal funding landscape. Matthew DeKinder, their communications coordinator, says cuts to the federal government by the federal government have made it difficult to provide quality food to the people they serve, something they pride themselves in.
The amount of protein that we've been receiving from the USDA has really dropped off. And so we've really been trying to secure that as well.
DeKinder says although they are receiving less from the federal government, they are able to get by for now due to increased donations. Anyone wishing to donate or volunteer can go to their website, jfsstl.org.
Missouri's Attorney General is giving a downtown St. Louis hotel 14 days to address poor conditions. Catherine Hanaway calling the Mark Twain Hotel a hellhole earlier this week, and in a letter sent to the owner of the building yesterday said the conditions can be defined as a public nuisance under state law. The hotel currently functions as low-income housing. Hanaway is asking the owner, Anchor Point Hotel LLC, to submit a plan to curb on-site drug activity and to ensure better living conditions.
More than $1 million in federal disaster money headed to St. Louis, $586,000 federal dollars going to the city specifically for debris removal. The May 2025 tornado left an estimated 1 million metric tons of debris across North St. Louis. Recovery has been slow and controversial, with FEMA declining several of the city's requests for reimbursement. Meanwhile, more than $640,000 goes to the Urban League to make building repairs.
A new study highlights the billions of dollars Missouri's state parks generate for the economy, but state leaders say the value of the park system goes beyond dollars and cents.
Missouri is only one of 8 states that entrance to its parks is free. All the other states charge for entrance, not to mention the societal impact and the mental health impact that goes along with people being able to get outside, enjoy the outdoors, and have a cost-effective way to engage in recreation.
That's Department of Natural Resources Director Kurt Schaefer. The study found Missouri's state park system generates more than $1.5 billion in economic activity each year from an annual budget of about $68 million, while attracting roughly 20 million visitors and supporting nearly 12,000 jobs across the state.
He's excited about his awesome new neighbors. That's James Beard award-winning chef Kevin Nashin opening the Clydesdale in the Budweiser Brewhouse in Ballpark Village. He was asked on KMOX's Chris and Amy show if he's nervous about opening a new place right now.
At the end of the day, it comes down to what you love to do. I don't care what business you're in. At the end of the day, we are all service-oriented. We want to make people happy. I tend to do it on the food side.
The food will be upscale tavern with a raw seafood bar, Wagyu blend burgers, and a crafted cocktail menu.
It is 7:07, and we'll take a look at the forecast as we head into the weekend and a look at your ride in as well, right here on Total Information AM.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathy Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's ruffgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's ruffgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
You work hard, follow the rules, and get absolutely slammed by taxes. Your paycheck taxed. Your property taxed. Everything you buy taxed. Missouri's tax system isn't broken. It's rigged against you. The lawyers and lobbyists working for big corporations and the super rich buried over 200 loopholes for themselves in our tax code. While they pay nothing on the services they use, working families are taxed over and over. It's no wonder they're lying about Amendment 5. Our corrupt tax system is rigged in their favor. They're getting a free ride on your back. Don't believe their lies. The truth is, Amendment 5 closes loopholes exploited by the super rich and slashes taxes paid by Missouri's working families, phasing out income taxes and cutting property taxes. They finally pay what they owe while you keep what you earn. Vote yes on Amendment 5. Paid for by Missouri Promise PAC.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
Let's get you caught up on traffic and weather. It is 7:10 and Roger Brands in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, things still look great out on the area highways, Debbie. In fact, since we last spoke, they cleared that crash downtown, eastbound 44 before the Poplar Street Bridge. They cleared it over to the shoulder, I think, before the top of the hour, but it looks like everything's completely thinned out there now. No longer any delays. Just starting to see enough volume at a couple of spots to see a little roadwork delay, a bit of a slowdown. Eastbound 70, just a moment ago, I witnessed a little heavy traffic in Forestel, and there's a roadwork delay right now on eastbound Highway 5570, one from 111, not quite midway into Black Lane, but it is getting heavier there. But 64 in Fairview Heights still looks good, both directions. 270 through the work zone between 64 and Ladue. There are no delays there. And 70 out west, the last couple of days, we've had some pretty big backups coming in from Warrenton, and it looks great headed through there into Wright City as well. Next update at 7:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, times of sun and clouds, quite warm and humid today with a high near 90. A couple of strong to severe thunderstorms will be around late this afternoon and tonight. Any thunderstorm can produce flooding downpours, damaging winds, even an isolated tornado. Tonight's low 73. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and not as warm, but still humid with a shower or two and even a thunderstorm, high 83. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Currently, we have cloudy skies, 74 degrees in Florissant at 73 in St. Peters, 72 downtown at the Arch.
Cardinals Brewers highlights coming up in sports.
It is 7:11, and a man who abducted a woman from a Collinsville Starbucks parking lot at knife point and sexually assaulted her has been sentenced to 120 years in prison. 42-year-old Timothy Dubois Jr. was convicted in May, but sentenced yesterday in Madison County for the attack that took place November of 2022. Dubois forced the victim in her own car to drive to Troy, assaulted her, then drove her back and vanished.
Investigators cracked the case using forensic genealogical DNA after finding a discarded condom on a gravel road in Troy. It's the first time the technology had been used in a Madison County prosecution. Dubois must serve a minimum 68 years.
The Ozarks are under an emergency flash flood warning. Most of Iron County and Northeast Reynolds County are under what the National Weather Service is calling life-threatening flash flooding. Fox 2 reporting law enforcement and fire personnel are currently being dispatched to rescue campers trapped by trees. The Weather Service says up to 11 inches of rain fell by 11 o'clock and up to 3.5 inches more expected to fall every hour in the affected locations.
The CDC reporting a record number of West Nile virus cases has been recorded for this time of year.
That news comes at the same time as word of St. Louis County's first positive sample of the West Nile virus was found in mosquitoes in Richmond Heights. An infectious diseases specialist at the Baylor College of Medicine, Dr. Peter Hotez, says protection begins by staying indoors during the early morning and evening hours. But if you must be outside, take precautions.
I try to get my 10,000 steps in, and I do walking early in the morning and in the evening. And what I do is I have a full hooded sweatshirt on and sweatpants, and and socks and sneakers and a hat. And then on the exposed areas, I put on insect repellent containing DEET on both the dorsal and palmar surface of my hands and around my neck.
The virus is usually spread through an infected mosquito bite and can result in a fever, body aches, joint pain, and vomiting. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
The new evening summer race series in St. Louis is a hit, according to Mona Vespa, the president of Go St. Louis. Vespa says the new Summer Sizzle series drew a crowd 2 Thursdays ago, even with the storms.
We had several hundred, which is, for a first-year event and you're doing something over the summer when people are traveling, we were happy with it.
And an even better turnout last night during the second race of the series at Tower Grove Park.
A bunch of our local running clubs are all making it kind of like their meetup. They're like, hey, can we come and bring a grill and have hot dogs and hamburgers? And so that'll be a super cool vibe added to it as well.
It is 7:14, and this is Total Information AM.
Well, it has not been the greatest of stretches for the Cardinals. After they had won 3 straight, they dropped the series finale at Chicago. They came back home for that big 5-game series with the Milwaukee Brewers. The Brewers and Cards wrapped up that series last night. The Cardinals were looking to gain some more traction. They did win Wednesday night. That snapped a 4-game losing streak, which included the first 3 in the series to the Brewers. Last night, Andre Palante made the start for the Cards, and he got knocked around early.
There's a ground ball base hit to right between first and second. And the Brewers are going to pick up another run. And on the third is Churio. So single is how the Brewers start the third inning. 3-0 Milwaukee.
Well, after single, Jake Bauers had another swing in mind.
1 the count to Bauers. After that strike, next pitch, a curveball, and that's hammered over the head of Nootbaar and into the bullpen and right. And there's your big fly. A 3-run homer for Jake Bauers on a ball that was hung in the middle of the plate by Palante.
Lars Nootbaar got the Cards offense going in the 4th inning.
Artistic to watch. There's a line drive base hit. Center field for Lars Nootbaar. And coming home and scoring from second base is Alec Burleson. And the Cardinals are on the board as Nootbaar picks up his 9th RBI by driving that pitch right through the box.
Then it was the All-Star. Jordan Walker had announced earlier Thursday that he's going to take part in this year's All-Star Home Run Derby. And in the 6th, he gave Cards fans a preview.
Jordan saying before the game that he has not been in a home run derby for a long time. He's going to do it, of course, in Philadelphia. He said, I'm going to need to practice that. I just as soon he practiced right now.
Yeah, exactly. This is a good way to get started. Maybe we get one of those loaded balls they're going to use on Monday night, too. See how far he can hit it.
The 3-2, a swing, and there's a drive. Left field. It's a goner and Big McLaren. Off the facing. He drove that one out of here, and the Cardinals indeed are right back in the game. They're down by 2 in the 6th inning. That's a great way to practice for Monday night in Philadelphia.
Well, that's the truth. Big swing of the bat by Jordan Walker. And, of course, that is our cut of the game. It's sponsored by The Diamond Shop, thediamondshop.net. The Brewers tacked on a run in the 7th inning, and then the Cardinals threatened in the 8th inning. They put 2 on base ahead of Lars Nootbaar.
Many of the fans stand here at Busch Stadium. The runner goes. The pitch is swung on, and there's a high pop fly, short right center. Terang, the second baseman, makes the catch, and the Cardinals strand 2. We go to the 9th.
One more for the Brewers in the 9th inning. Jose Fermin gets on base. He walks with 2 outs in the bottom of the inning. But Abner Uribe on for the Brewers. He closes it out.
The 2-2 pitch. Ground ball up the middle of the infield. Frelick has it. Throws to first. This ballgame has come to an end. And the Brewers took 4 out of 5 in this series.
So the Brewers get the series win in this big 5-game series. Now the Cards will wrap up the proverbial first half of the season with a 3-game set with the Atlanta Braves this weekend at Busch. It'll be Kyle Leahy on the mound for the Cards. He's going to face the Braves' Chris Sale. Neither pitcher worked in the series last week in Atlanta, and in that series, the Cards took 2 out of 3 from the Braves. First pitch tonight comes up at 7:15. Aaron Total Access is at 6:20. Next Sports Date update comes up at 7:45. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid.
Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
It is 7:20, so let's get you caught up on your ride in on this Friday morning. Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
No, the highways continue to cruise along, Debbie. I mean, we're about 20 minutes away from our peak rush hour volume, at least the way we normally see it. But right now, the interstates look great. They just cleared a minor crash off the Poplar Street Bridge eastbound onto southbound or Route 3. So they're off on the shoulder there south of the bridge. No longer any backups, or no longer any lane blockage, rather. I never saw a backup, but they just cleared that crash off the bridge and onto the shoulder southbound Route 3 from the Poplar. In the work zones over on the Illinois side, there's just a little slowdown. Eastbound 5570 past 111, 64 in Fairview Heights looks great. Out to the west, 70 coming in from Warrenton, there's no problem. 270 both directions through the work zone at Ladue. I don't really see any slow traffic either. 30 at High Ridge Boulevard, we had a report that the signals were out there earlier. They were out, so they may have fixed them. 30 just has a little backup at Gravois Bluffs, and it's just kind of slow approaching Mauer, headed up to the hill to Highway 270 currently. Next update at 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
We'll have times of sun and clouds today. It will be warm and humid with a high of 90, but we could see some severe thunderstorms late this afternoon and tonight, an overnight low around 73 for tomorrow. Mostly cloudy, not as warm, but still humid with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, a high of 83. Right now we have partly sunny skies, 72 degrees downtown at the Arch.
If you haven't yet checked out the Mill Creek Black Metropolis exhibit at the Missouri History Museum, your time is running out. It's going to be the last weekend for this exhibit. Gwen Moore is the curator of urban landscape and community identity for the Missouri Historical Society and the Missouri History Museum. And Gwen, how many people have gone through this exhibit so far?
Well, so far there's been 120,770.
That is amazing. And it has...
Yeah, that's quite a number.
Yeah, and it's been like a matter of months, not years.
Yes, we opened November the 15th of 2025, closing July the 12th.
A whole weekend of festivities and different activities that people can check out for sure. And this has been for sure a labor of love for you, not only in your role at the Missouri Historical Society and the Missouri History Museum, but you grew up in Mill Creek Valley.
I did, my early youth. My parents lived in Mill Creek, my grandparents, all my aunts and uncles, so my whole family were Mill Creek natives. I guess you could say it was a passion project something that I had been working on for years.
The unfortunate thing is because the neighborhood was essentially just razed, there's really hardly a trace of it left, that a lot of people forgot it existed, or maybe they heard things about it that were maybe not the whole picture. So what are things that you're hearing, or, as you see people go through it, that maybe people are discovering for the first time?
That's true. A lot of people said that they had never heard of Mill Creek, and they said they grew up in St. Louis and didn't know anything about it. Other people had sort of vague memories. And those people that do remember it the way it was portrayed at the time, that it was a slum and that the people were slum dwellers. And that was the narrative. And that was the narrative that I wanted to correct. So I wanted to show more of this community. I wanted people to see this community through the eyes of the people that live there and through the experiences of the people that live there, and tell a more balanced narrative of the community.
Now, I've been through the Mill Creek exhibit several times, and I'm at the museum a lot. And every time I walk past, it's like there's a reunion going on. Are you finding that too?
Yes, it's really interesting because people that lived in Mill Creek and remember that, maybe they grew up there, or they tell me their mothers or their fathers lived there, and we have a lot of moving images, and on some occasions people will say they knew the people that were in those images because they're home movies. So it really has been like a reunion, I think, for a lot of people. And even when I give tours, people might mention things that they remember about this community.
Can you talk about some of the activities that are going to be going on this weekend? Because again, this is going to be people's last chance to check this out.
Yes. On Friday, we're going to have what we call a Mill Creek After Hours Homecoming, and it'll just be a lot of fun. It'll be like a big party. We're going to have a DJ that will be playing music. I'll say a few remarks, not much. And there will be a dance tribute to Josephine Baker, who, of course, was a Mill Creek resident. That Saturday, we're going to have a night at Peacock Alley. And, of course, Peacock Alley was that legendary jazz club. For some of the biggest names in jazz played there: Max Roach, Carmen McRae, Dave Brubeck, of course, Miles Davis. So it was a magnet, an entertainment magnet. And then on Sunday, we're having a play. It's called Morning Mill Creek. That is sold out.
Well, absolutely stop by, folks, because it is free to go through the exhibit, and it closes Sunday, so don't miss out. It's called Mill Creek, Black Metropolis. It's at the Missouri History Museum in Gwenmore. Thanks for putting this together and teaching many of us, or reminding many of us, of what Mill Creek was.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
It is 7:26. The Time Check, sponsored by Jerry Kelley Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Well, I'm sure you're aware, I guess you can all imagine, that not only are we busy, but other reputable companies are also just as busy, if not busier, and it's only going to get worse. So if you know, I know this is tough, but if your system has not been keeping up with your house for just not this year, but last year, the year before, and even the year before that, if you want to quit doing it and just get it done, just call me, Bart Inman, and it's one easy number, the easiest of numbers that sometimes I forget. So write it down. 314-293-2600, Missouri and Illinois, or on the internet, bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Let's take a break.
Good idea.
Hey, Tom, what are you doing on that Amendment 4?
You know, we fought for our freedom and rights. I'm not giving them away without a fight.
4 takes them?
That's exactly what 4 does. For over 100 years, Missouri voters have used our constitutional power to act when the politicians refused. I'll be darned if I'm voting to pass on less freedom and power to my kids.
It doesn't 4 kill majority rule?
Yep, creates minority rule, where just 5% of statewide voters in one district can block anti-citizen-led reform, making it nearly impossible to pass citizen-led ballot measures.
That's just dumb.
And when the politicians refuse to act, we've used citizen-led ballot measures to pass some big stuff, like lobbyist reforms, term limits for career politicians, and outlawing tax hikes without voter approval.
I'm not surrendering my power and rights to a bunch of politicians and lobbyists. I'm no on Amendment 4.
Hard no on 4.
Pay 4 buttons every inch, prepare governance.
When pain starts to slow you down, BJC Healthcare and WashU Medicine orthopedic specialists are here to help. Nationally recognized leaders in orthopedics deliver care that's informed by research and personalized for you. From everyday aches to complex injuries and recovery, we're here to help you get back to doing what you love. Find an orthopedic specialist today. Visit bjc.org/orthopedics or call 314-362-9355.
Hey parents, Kids Sunday returns to the ballpark on Sunday, July 12th when the Cardinals host the Braves. That day, kids 12 and under can score a replica Cardinals jersey presented by Steeple. This jersey is perfect for game days, school days, and all season long. Plus, kids run the bases after the game. Enjoy Kids Sunday every Sunday home game with free ice cream, Team Fredbird, music, and more. Make it a Sunday fun day for the whole family. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Michael McGreevy. See you at the ballpark.
B is for baseball. On Sunday, July 12th, when the Cards take on the Braves, it's Sesame Street Day. Celebrate the iconic show that shaped generations with a day full of family fun at the ballpark. With the purchase of a special theme ticket, fans can choose between an exclusive Oscar the Grouch bobblehead or a Grover plush wearing a Cardinals jersey. Pick your favorite and join the fun. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/theme.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
With cloudy skies, 72 degrees now downtown at the Arch at 7:30. I'm Megan Lynch.
I'm Debbie Monterrey. This is Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, heading out the door onto the highways has been a pretty good run this morning. It's not really all that bad. Now, I am seeing a little bit of a delay right now. Looks like we have a minor incident on eastbound 44 just past Lindbergh. There's a brief slowdown there. Eastbound Highway 30, just slow coming up the hill as you approach Mauer up to 270. North 55 looks good coming up from Festus all the way into the city. 270 northbound still great from 55 up through 44, and it still looks good both directions on 270 between 64 and Ladue. 70 coming in from Warrenton out west, no delays into the right city area through that construction zone. 70 and 64 from the Wentzville split across the Missouri River bridges is fine. And downtown we're still good. 64 at Fairview Heights, 55, 70, and 64 across the Poplar and Mutual Veterans bridges. Just that brief slowdown eastbound 55, 70, just a little east of 111 in that construction area currently. Next update at 7:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We could see some severe thunderstorms late this afternoon and tonight, and that could bring us some flooding downpours, damaging wind gusts, even an isolated tornado, an overnight low of 73. Otherwise, sun and clouds, warm and humid today with a high of 90. For tomorrow, mostly cloudy, not as warm, but still humid. A couple of showers and a thunderstorm around, a high of 83. We have 74 in Florissant and in St. Peters, and partly sunny skies, 72 degrees downtown at the Arch.
2 individuals in custody facing parental kidnapping charges related to remains found in Illinois.
According to a post on the Deloge Police Department's Facebook page, 32-year-old Ronell Marquise Jones and 35-year-old Kirsty Dora are being held without bond while facing parental kidnapping and harassment charges. While the St. Clair County Coroner's Office has not identified the remains, the Deloge Police Department says they believe the remains belong to Jones's son, who he is accused of kidnapping. According to Jones's probable cause statement, the mother of the child contacted police on June 12th. She said in April of 2024, Jones allegedly drove off with the child in his car, and the mother has not seen her child since. The statement says Jones gave various answers to law enforcement when asked where the child was. He claimed the child was in the custody of the state before later saying he dropped him off at an Amish community in Mississippi where he would visit him. It was later determined through witnesses the child was deceased. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Detectives interviewed numerous individuals throughout the investigation. Detectives worked to verify multiple and often conflicting statements from both parents.
That's St. Louis Police Chief Robert Tracy shedding light into the investigation of that missing child that began when the mother first reported her son missing to them in 2024. Tracy says his department is now conducting an internal investigation into the juvenile division.
This review will be carefully examined and what occurred. It will determine whether our policies, investigative standards, and expectations were met. If we identify mistakes, policy violations, or areas where we should have done better, I will ensure they are addressed.
Tracy says they sought parental kidnapping charges in 2025, but were rejected.
Charter Communications is closing its operations center in Town and Country by September 8th. According to their filing with the state, it'll mean 107 layoffs. Charter is now based in Connecticut and did not cite a reason for the closure. The former St. Louis-based company now operates as Spectrum.
The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Your money report next.
Chris Ranchi and Amy Markscores connect you with the people, places, and conversations that bring our community together.
And now you get to hear about poo-poo in a box from a firefighter.
No, come on.
The hammerhead worm. And you get to hear about car fires.
And sinkholes.
And sinkholes. I love our newsroom. I think they're doing a great job.
From neighborhood happenings to local heroes, from everyday challenges to unforgettable stories. Chris and Amy, weekdays from 9 to noon on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog, but they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Are front paws hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It is now 7:35, and in 5 minutes, we'll check the roadways again for you and take a look at your weekend forecast. It does involve some potentially heavy storms moving in later today. Details on the way. Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Roger. Didn't mean to make you jump. It's actually time for our money report, which is sponsored for you this hour by Busey Bank.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. OpenAI is trying to appeal to more business professionals. It's rolling out a new artificial intelligence agent that's meant to tackle a wider range of complex tasks for hours at a time. ChatGPT Work is designed to help create documents, spreadsheets, presentations, and web applications. OpenAI and rival Anthropic have been racing to build more sophisticated agents for work tasks. Turning to trading, U.S. and Iran negotiations on a permanent peace deal continue. However, S&P futures are heading for a lower open, with traders cautious about the outlook for the Middle East. And the rising cost of owning a home have some young Americans questioning whether buying a house is still a good investment. According to a survey by the Pew Research Center, less than a quarter of those between 18 and 39 say buying a home is a very good investment, compared with 38% of those over 60. Wages haven't kept up with surging prices and ownership costs. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
This is the Let's Revitalize Our Neighborhoods commitment. This is the Roll Up Our Sleeves and Pitch In commitment. This is Busey, where our commitment to strengthen our communities is a top priority. Through energetic, engaged volunteers, through monetary support, community leadership, and advocacy. Because Busey is more than a bank that does well, we're a bank that does good. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth, since 1868. Member FDIC.
Giddy up! It's the Cardinal Cowboy. Don't let garage door problems bench your summer plans. From repairs, tune-ups, and replacements, Renner Garage Door hits a grand slam every time. Score a free repair or replacement quote today, plus $100 off a new garage door. Featuring trusted brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster, Renner delivers the quality, reliability, and performance your home can count on. RennerDoorSTL.com. Forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER.
Bill, that's a big smile for an old politician.
I'm thinking about our plan. It's slick enough to make a lobbyist blush. First, we hoodwink voters with Amendment 5. Tell them it's a tax cut. Once they're hooked, we decide who pays the higher taxes.
So it's not a tax cut plan, and we don't get a say?
Right, just swaps who pays the tax, but it does remove 3 voter-passed taxpayer constitutional protections. That lets us levy new taxes on services, increase sales taxes, and even tax home sales. And voters will no longer get to vote on tax hikes.
Higher sales taxes on groceries, gas, service taxes on doctor visits, childcare, and even rent on apartments. Jeez. Taxes could exceed 20%.
Sure, they figure that up to 80% of taxpayers will pay more taxes. Many, hundreds more. Seniors, they'll get hit even harder, but our big donors will cut a fat hog.
The ones getting butchered by Amendment 5 are most taxpayers. I'm voting no on 5.
Paid for by Missourians for fair taxation.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Get inside your Redbirds in the 2026 season every Tuesday at noon. It's All Access with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol on your voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Now it's time to talk to Roger Brand, 7:40 this morning. Let's see how things are going out there. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, it's not too bad, Megan, considering we're at the peak of rush hour. Steve Butts and the entire Crawford Butts family wish America a very happy 250th. So if you're looking at delays, you're going to find a couple, but not bad. North 270 a little slow, midway up from Manchester toward Clayton Road. Eastbound 44, they have the center lane blocked at Lindbergh. There's just a little east of Lindbergh, a very brief delay there. There's heavier traffic on the Illinois side. Eastbound 5570 on the brakes at 111. It's slow about midway into Black Lane, and westbound 64. We have an incident now. I can't tell if it's a stall or a crash on the Poplar Street Bridge. It's backing up, approaching Route 3, so it's jammed as you come around the bend there to the bridge. So there is an incident there blocking. They just cleared a crash eastbound 74 Stell. Things are back on the go there. They also had an incident south 170 at Airport Road, and things look good for you there. We do have a rescue crash, a serious one. Westbound lanes at 30 at Little Brennan are blocked. There's a short westbound jam and a little eastbound slowdown in the area there as well. As America celebrates its 250th anniversary, Steve Butts and everyone at Crawford Butts Insurance extend their heartfelt wishes for a safe and joyous summer of celebration. For generations, Crawford Butts has been proud to serve the community. Steve Butts and the entire Crawford Butts family wish America a very happy 250th. Next update is 7:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It is now time for us to check in with our AccuWeather meteorologist, Joe Lundberg, and the skies have definitely brightened up. I'm seeing a little more sunshine right now, Joe.
See some sunshine here for the next several hours. That's going to be the thing that'll get us up close to 90 degrees today, but thunderstorms are eventually going to find their way back to our area. Now, so far today, it's all been to our south and southwest and out to the west and moving east-southeastward, and unfortunately, it's been training over the same areas. Life-threatening flooding in portions of Iron County, near Reynoldsville, Lesterville. Some places have seen over a foot of rain overnight. So it's just a really bad situation there. Eventually, though, some thunderstorms are going to work their way back into our area, if not late today, almost certainly tonight. and those thunderstorms could be severe with flooding, downpours, damaging winds, and a threat for some tornadoes. 90 today. Tonight's low about 73. Tomorrow, an active day. A couple of showers and maybe a heavier thunderstorm. Not much in the way of sun or high. It gets to about 83. A bit more in the way of sunshine Sunday. Still a chance for a thunderstorm in the afternoon, the high 87. And sunny skies for Monday, the high 89, 90 or better with sunshine on Tuesday. 74 at St. Peter's, 75 in Florissant, partly sunny 75 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
I'm Joe Pott. Jordan Walker is going to participate in the Home Run Derby. He'll talk about that coming up in sports.
First, though, more news at 7:43. The redevelopment of St. Louis's oldest public housing complex expected to kick off next week. Crews will break ground at the Clinton Peabody Apartments located at 1401 LaSalle Street next Friday. It will mark the beginning of Phase 1, which includes the construction of 3 apartment buildings. It's expected to add 89 multifamily units and take 18 months to complete. The Business Journal reports the project's primarily funded through federal and state low-income housing tax credit equity.
Some Metro East communities are rebuffing fears that smaller homes mean lower property values. Ron Diedrich, local government affairs director with Illinois Realty, says Belleville recently reversed building and rehab restrictions for homes under 1,000 square feet.
You ultimately give those property owners, those developers, those housing providers more options for what they can do on their property because they're not creating more land. So since we're not creating more land, what we have to do is figure out how we get more creative within the boundaries that currently exist.
Diedrich says providing for smaller homes opens doors for infill housing for narrow city lots. He tells KMOX that paves the way for homeowners to build small in-law suites on properties, which improves overall value.
Several vehicles are being added to the list of those taking home top safety honors. Jeff Gilbert has the latest crash test results from Detroit.
The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety has awarded 4 more vehicles top safety pick plus status. They're the Audi A6, BMW X1, Mazda CX-5, and Subaru Crosstrek Hybrid. Jessica Jermakian's the senior vice president with the Institute.
Buying a top safety pick plus vehicle gets you the best in crashworthiness and crash avoidance technologies as standard equipment for the vehicle. So we're looking for vehicles that do well in the event of a crash, but also help prevent the crash in the first place.
Meanwhile, a new crash test of the older Cadillac CT5 midsize luxury sedan shows it still has issues with some crash tests and crash prevention technology.
Cardinals outfielder Jordan Walker continues to prove why he's earned that first career All-Star selection. Walker has hits in 4 straight games and 9 of 10 games in the month of July. He's hitting .353 for the month and has an OPS of 1.246 with 4 home runs. Yesterday, Walker announced he'll participate in Monday's All-Star Home Run Derby, and he spoke about it before the game.
I don't know what to expect, honestly. I don't think you really know what to expect, but I thought it would be fun. I mean, I would like to have tried it at least once, and this is my chance, so of course I'm going to take it.
Walker said he might need to do a little prep work before taking the Home Run Derby stage on Monday nights.
I would like to practice because home run derbies are a lot harder than they look. I did a few in high school, and it didn't turn out the way I thought it was going to, so I definitely need to practice for it. KT will be throwing to me as like his BP, so we're definitely going to practice, I think, either tomorrow or Saturday. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Well, he got some practice last night in the series finale with the Brewers.
The 3-2, a swing, and there's a drive. Left field, it's a goner and Big McLaren. Off the facing, he drove that one out of here, and the Cardinals indeed are right back in the game. They're down by 2 in the 6th inning. That's a great way to practice from Monday night in Philadelphia.
Indeed, it was number 22 for Jordan Walker. Tonight, Kyle Leahy takes the mound for the Redbirds as they start a series with the Braves at Busch Stadium. First pitch is 7:15. Pre-game coverage gets underway at 6:20. Well, France is into the World Cup semifinals, and the rest of the last 4 will be decided by the end of the day tomorrow. Following the U.S. loss in the round of 16, St. Louis and Taylor Twellman says soccer in the United States is in a good spot.
Despite the disappointment surrounding the U.S. men's national team, St. Louis former national team player and Apple TV MLS analyst Taylor Twellman believes American soccer is heading in the right direction. He points to Major League Soccer's upcoming calendar change and continued investment from club owners as signs the league is entering its next phase.
The fact that we're actually changing the schedule is massive. You're going to spend 20 to 30% less on players. The most important part is your most important games are going to be away from the NFL. The weather in the United States is brilliant in April and May, and you align yourself up with the international calendar.
Twellman says those changes should strengthen both MLS and the next generation of American players.
The owners have done all the hardware that they needed. Now, when we do the software part, the players and the quality of competition, I can't wait to see what the 2034 and the 2038 World Cup looks like, because MLS is going to have a big fingerprint on those teams.
Twellman was speaking Thursday ahead of this weekend's American Century Championship Celebrity Golf Tournament in Lake Tahoe. Jen Cease, KMOX Sports.
Thank you, Jen. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
You work hard, follow the rules, and get absolutely slammed by taxes. Your paycheck taxed, your property taxed, everything you buy taxed. Missouri's tax system isn't broken, it's rigged against you. The lawyers and lobbyists working for big corporations and the super rich buried over 200 loopholes for themselves in our tax code. While they pay nothing on the services they use, working families are taxed over and over. It's no wonder they're lying about Amendment 5. Our corrupt tax system is rigged in their favor. They're getting a free ride on your back. Don't believe their lies. The truth is, Amendment 5 closes loopholes exploited by the super rich and slashes taxes paid by Missouri's working families, phasing out income taxes and cutting property taxes. They finally pay what they owe while you keep what you earn. Vote yes on Amendment 5. Paid for by Missouri Promise PAC.
The wait is over. The new Omaha Steak Store is now open in Baldwin at 15305 Manchester Road in Central Plaza. Shop now for 50% off store-wide and enjoy delicious doorbuster deals starting at just $19.99. For more than 100 years, Omaha Steaks has delivered the world's best steak experience. From extra-aged USDA-certified tender steaks to pure ground burgers, air-chilled chicken, premium pork, and so much more. Every bite is handcrafted by master butchers and backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee. Stop by the new Omaha Steak Store in Baldwin today to discover the Omaha Steaks difference.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where supplies start at just 25 cents?
Staples has the latest laptops with up to 40% savings.
I may hug the cashier.
So embarrassing.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples with up to 40% off select tech. Staples. That was easy. Visit Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply. Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM KMOX.
7:50. Let's see how things are going with the morning rush. Roger Brand is in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Megan, Illinois drivers are facing the biggest delays currently. It looks like they may have cleared that incident we had on the Popwood Street Bridge, but westbound 64 is still a solid jam now from 3rd Street around the bend to the bridge. It's opening up as you approach the bridge, so that's a good sign. And eastbound 5570 is jamming, approaching 111, and then it's slow from there all the way into Black Lane through that work zone. On the Missouri side, like I said, not much in the way of delays. There's still some slow traffic north 270, right north of Manchester up through about the Clayton Road overpass. And I am seeing more of a backup now on eastbound 30 at High Ridge Boulevard. The signals were reportedly out there earlier. So just to be advised that they were completely dark at that location. And they requested a third ambulance for that rescue crash, westbound 30 at Little Brennan. Westbound is a short jam. Eastbound more of just a slowdown in the area there. Next update at 7:58 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Taking a look at that forecast as we head through today, just sun and clouds, humid, a high of 90. But as we head into this afternoon and this evening, we're looking at a thunderstorm that could produce some flooding, downpours, damaging wind gusts, maybe even an isolated tornado. It's going to cool things down, too. So by tomorrow, we'll have mostly cloudy skies and a high of 83. It'll still be humid with a couple of showers and thunderstorms around, back up to 87 by Sunday. It's 75 degrees out there right now.
The news continues at 7:52. The congressman behind a new push to expand Southern Illinois truck parking says he knows the problem firsthand. Mike Bost grew up in his family's trucking business before he ran for office.
I was born and raised in a family trucking business. I drove my first truck across the lot, my first tractor trailer truck across the lot at 9 years old. I actually started driving. I never had a car license. I've only had a tractor trailer license because whenever I turned 16, CDLs weren't around, but you got it through the state, and state law at that time was if you were not driving for hire, which is if you're working for your family business or working for the family farm, that's not for hire, you could actually get a tractor trailer license at 16. So then after I came home from the Marine Corps, I actually ran that family business for 10 years. So I do know and understand what these drivers face out there.
Boss more than $13 million grant will expand parking at 2 rest areas, which are near the Indiana and Kentucky borders. It comes 3 years after a Greyhound bus on I-70 in Highland crashed into 3 illegally parked tractor trailers. 3 people died. The head of the Owner-Operator Independent Drivers Association says there's currently just 1 spot for every 11 trucks on the road.
An Illinois state representative and her husband facing federal charges, an alleged cash kickback scheme, and a Republican colleague says it's part of a long pattern. Assistant Minority Leader C.D. Davidsmeyer, a Republican from Jacksonville, calls Illinois the corruption capital of the nation.
The indictments against State Rep Carol Ammons and her husband are the latest infractions on top of a troubling history of issues, a history of corrupt and reckless criminal behavior. From Aaron Adams' multiple drug arrests and heroin dealing conviction, Rep. Ammons' Pursegate problems where she allegedly stole a purse from a local thrift shop, to their daughter's recent indictment on unemployment benefit fraud during COVID. The Ammons family has repeatedly flaunted the system with behavior unbecoming of elected officials.
Carol Ammons is charged with orchestrating a scheme to collect illegal kickbacks from her own campaign account and from nonprofits she helped to secure state grants for. She has not been publicly responding to those charges.
A U.S. Court of Appeals yesterday upheld Illinois' ban on assault weapons and large capacity magazines.
Illinois' ban was passed in the months following the deadly mass shooting during Highland Park's 4th of July parade in 2023. In 2024, a Southern Illinois judge ruled the state's ban unconstitutional. However, in Thursday's 2-1 decision, the appeals court ruled it's up to lawmakers if they want to ban AR-15s and high-capacity magazines. The U.S. Supreme Court this year will hear arguments over the constitutionality of Cook County's ban on so-called assault weapons. Roger Plummer, News Radio, 105.9 WBBM.
Illinois residents are in line for more care during and after pregnancy.
The State Department of Health Care and Family Services has announced Medicaid customers will now have access to licensed certified professional midwife services, including for home or other birth settings. Covered maternity care will include lab and diagnostic testing, as well as assistance during pregnancy, labor, and delivery. Governor Pritzker and health officials say a major goal of the expansion is to improve maternal health equity in Illinois. A statement from Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton reads in part, recognizing midwives as Medicaid providers is a meaningful investment in evidence-based, patient-centered care that will help more Illinois families experience safe, healthy birth. Andy Dane, News Radio, 105.9 WBBM.
It's 7:56.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. Stewie, let's talk about refinancing, and let's just bottom line this. Everyone needs money at some point in their life.
You know what, Dave? There's so many different ways you can make money. Number one, go to a lower rate. If you're financed over the last 3 years, chances are you're paying a higher rate than what you can today. Refinance with the Bagel loan, no closing costs at all. That's number one. Number two, a lot of people are concerned not about the cash flow, but overall interest that you're paying. Go from a 30-year to a 20-year. The rates are lower on a 20-year versus a 30-year. Save hundreds of thousands of dollars. And third is the real easy way. You need cash. I need cash. Take cash out. Refinance now. Take the money you need. Keep the payment the same. It's easy. It's simple. All with no closing costs with that Bagel loan.
If you're looking to save money, get a little cash to your pocket and do it with the right person, give Stewie a call or a text on his personal cell phone, 314-324-4440, or Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS 226715.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hardworking, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
With the new My Lowe's Pro Rewards American Express card, earn 3 points per dollar spent on Lowe's qualifying purchases for the first 6 months after card account opening. Plus, save 5% every day on eligible purchases at Lowe's and earn points on eligible purchases everywhere else Amex is accepted. Card members get more at Lowe's. Subject to credit approval. 5% can't be combined with any other offer. Exclusions and restrictions apply. Points subject to loyalty terms at Lowe's.com/terms and credit reward terms at Synchrony.com/MLPRA-terms. Visit Lowe's.com/business credit.
When it comes to family law, a lot has changed in recent years, so assumptions can be costly. If you see or sense a change coming in your family life that could have legal implications, it's important to know where you stand. Getting good legal advice early is never a bad idea. I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. If you or anyone you know is facing a family law issue, start with a consultation. Visit CordellCordell.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kellwood, St. Louis.
Let's check in right now with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still got this stall on eastbound 44, Debbie, just past Lindbergh is in the right center lane. So there's a backup east of 270 up to Lindbergh on eastbound 44 currently. Still have a little bit of a backup on westbound 30 at Little Brendan. That's where we've had a rescue crash. They had to dispatch a third ambulance. Doesn't look as bad, 30 at High Ridge Boulevard. Westbound 64 downtown, better, but it's still heavy. Approaching Route 3 to the Poplar, a little bit of a backup due to the earlier incident we had on the bridge. And eastbound 5570 backs up west of 111, and there's delays most of the way into Black Lane through that construction zone currently. Next update at 8:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
This is Friday, July 10th, and coming up next hour on Total Information AM, the Ozarks under an emergency flash flood warning. We're going to get the latest on that situation and what it could mean for people who are camping and doing other recreational activities in that region. Also at 8:11, you'll get to meet an author who is traveling through St. Louis and has overcome an incredible amount of adversity in his life. He's got some tips for how you can start over as well. Also, make sure you stay with us 8:24. In case you missed it, we will run down some of the top stories from this week's news on KMOX.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The CDC is still trying to trace the source of a parasitic outbreak that has spread to 18 states now. Michigan, right now the hardest hit. ABC's Jim Ryan with more.
There's no medication to prevent the illness caused by cyclosporiasis, and treatment once you're infected is aimed at managing the severe stomach bug symptoms. The outbreak has at least one fast food chain, Taco Bell, pulling tomatoes, lettuce, cilantro, and raw onions from its menu in hard-hit Michigan.
More travel delays overnight. Hundreds of flights canceled and thousands delayed due to thunderstorms along the East Coast. There was also flash flooding in Missouri that left cars underwater, and there's been heat advisories continuing today for much of the country. In southern Spain, the deadliest wildfires on record have killed 12 people so far as soaring temperatures grip much of the country. Iran bracing for additional strikes from the U.S., but there were no new missiles fired overnight. Renewed fighting coming on the final day of a 6-day funeral for the former Ayatollah. This is ABC News. The world remembering aviation pioneer Wally Funk, the youngest member of the Mercury 13, a group of women who aced grueling training decades ago but never made it into space. That is, until recently. Her dream eventually became a reality, says ABC's Hannah Battah.
I never had any bad feelings. I knew I was going.
In 2021,
we're going to fly you up into space.
Amazon founder Jeff Bezos surprising the then 82-year-old with a seat on the maiden crewed flight of his Blue Origin rocket. At 82, she became the oldest woman ever to reach space.
I love it. It was great.
Funk's advice for every dreamer coming up behind her:
the only thing a woman needs to compete in a man's world is ability. Go for everything you can. Higher, faster, longer.
She was 87.
ABC's Hannah Battah. China successfully recapturing the first stage of a rocket to reuse it. Recycling like that, actually a breakthrough for Beijing's space program. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
At 8:02, we have sunny skies now, 74 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Friday, July 10th. I'm Megan Lynch. The Ozarks under an emergency flash flood warning. The Weather Service says up to 11 inches of rain fell by 11 a.m. yesterday, and up to 3.5 inches expected to fall every hour in the affected locations. We've got more updates now from Roger Brand. He's been listening to some of the chatter about what's happening in that region. Roger?
Yeah, it's things have been ongoing since early this morning, Megan. I mean, they've been, there's a lot of water rescues underway. They've actually pulled crews from the St. Louis area. We're talking about Clayton, Fenton, Metro West Fire Protection District, Maplewood, Monarch, Richmond Heights, West County, all sending boats down into that area in Iron, Reynolds, Washington County, Lesterville, one of the harder hit areas. Of course, there's a lot of big campgrounds. Black River Lodge is down there. There's rescues. Highway 72 is flooded there. Just east of Lesterville, and Highway N just north of there near Johnson Shut-ins is flooded as well, and multiple other roads are as well. Those are a couple of big ones near some well-known spots people might know about. Davisville, off in the Viburnum area, people were reportedly on the roofs of their houses earlier this morning. Sullivan Fire went down to help out with that situation. Ameren has to, I think they're in the process now. They already sent out a notice that they're releasing water from the Tomsock Reservoir because the reservoir is, with all the rain that's fallen, they have to release it, to keep the reservoir safe. So that's flooding the stream down below it there because of that situation. And a trained weather spotter in Ironton reported over 12 inches. Now, I know we've heard of reports of around there, but that was confirmed by one of the trained weather spotters in the area. So a lot of activity down that way because of all the severe weather, these training thunderstorms that have been moving through. Roger Brand, KMOX News.
Thank you, Roger. And of course, if you're heading to that area for recreation this weekend, you need to be mindful of what's happening in that region. Of course, it was nearly 2 decades ago that there was massive flooding at Johnson Shut-ins when the Tomsock Reservoir collapsed. In other news this morning, 2 people in custody facing kidnapping charges related to the remains of a child found in Illinois.
According to a post on the Deloge Police Department's Facebook page, 32-year-old Ronell Marquise Jones and 35-year-old Kirsty Dora are both in custody and face kidnapping and harassment charges. Jones is identified as the father of the child in the post. According to a probable cause statement, Jones was taken into custody on June 30th after the mother of the child contacted authorities saying she had not seen her son since April of 2024. She told police the child was last seen with Jones in his car and missing teeth before Jones drove off. While interviewed by law enforcement, Jones gave multiple excuses to the child's whereabouts, including claims the child was in the custody of the Children's Division, to saying he was left with an Amish community in Mississippi where Jones periodically visited him. It was determined through witness statements the child was deceased. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The St. Clair County Coroner's Office has not yet confirmed identity of those remains. Deloge Police Department says they are believed to be of that missing child. 2 men from Missouri have been charged by a federal grand jury for conspiracy to attack and kill government officials at the UFC Freedom 250 event at the White House. 32-year-old Daniel Eskridge of Hamilton, Missouri, and Jordan Rinker of St. Joseph's, Missouri, charged along with 6 other men. The men are accused of developing plans through online chat groups on platforms like Signal and Discord, as well as amassing weapons, ammunition, and tactical gear for the attack. All 8 of them charged together for 2 conspiracies: conspiracy to provide support to terrorists and conspiracy to commit murder on federal government territory and to murder a federal government official. Governor Kehoe signs a package of bills into law that includes tougher penalties for drunk drivers who kill someone. Under a new measure called Bentley and Mason's Law, intoxicated drivers whose actions leave a child without a parent or guardian can be held financially responsible for that child's upbringing. The law also sets a minimum 5 years in prison for some fatal DWI convictions and 10 years without parole for repeat offenders. A food pantry serving St. Louis County heavily relying on the kindness of others as federal funding shortfalls stress its ability to serve. Matthew DeKinder with Jewish Family Services says the food bank is still able to serve the community, but cuts are making it difficult.
Compared to what we got from the first half of last year, our amounts that we were receiving for the government's been cut in half.
DeKinder says the amount of protein they've received from the USDA has significantly dropped off, making it difficult to continue to serve quality, healthy food to those in need. A new University of Missouri study finds Missouri's state park system generates more than $1.5 billion in economic activity each year. The park system operates on a $68 million budget. Missouri Department of Natural Resources Director Kurt Schaefer tells MissouriNet 93 state parks and historic sites are a tremendous asset to the state.
When you look at that dollar amount, that's everything that's generated from, buying outdoor equipment, buying fishing, hunting equipment, as well as restaurants and everything else. It's a pretty big figure, but it's extremely important aspect of Missouri's economy.
The study found Missouri state parks and historic sites attract about 20 million visitors each year and support nearly 12,000 jobs statewide. It's 8:08. We'll check traffic and weather coming up.
I met my wife in law school at the University of Florida. She was from upstate New York and I was from Kentucky. We met at a daily mass at St. Augustine's. She was the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen in my life. After communion, I followed her out of the church and got her phone number. The rest is history. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Little did we know that one day we would have 4 children and the largest injury firm in the world. All 4 work in the business. It's a family business. Did I ever see this coming? Hell no. We just worked very hard and treated our clients like we would want to be treated, like family. It's a full-service injury firm, auto accidents, medical malpractice, workers' compensation, Social Security, and insurance disputes. We're open 24/7, 365 days a year. Visit forthepeople.com and we can get to work on your case. No recovery, no fee. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
New Game Plus with Oxy makes your laundry smell incredible and fights stubborn smells, like the ones your dog Biscuit brought into your freshly made bed last night. But you washed that all away with Game, and now you're drifting asleep to the scent and sound of waves. Ah, nope, that's the dog licking your ear.
Biscuit.
It just might be our greatest scent ever, now with odor-fighting power. New Game Plus with Oxy.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Your morning news and information. Total Information AM.
Let's get a check of the roads on this Friday morning, see how things are doing with Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, in the media metro area, Megan, we've had a really great morning commute. Friday morning hasn't been bad at all. There's still a little bit of a backup, very short on 30 westbound at Little Brendan. We had a rescue crash there. They're still working it. Obviously, they had to dispatch 3 different ambulances for that. Seeing a little slowdown eastbound 30 at High Ridge, or again, the signals were completely dark earlier this morning. Otherwise, Missouri interstates on our side of the river look great. And on the Illinois side, it's cleared out at the Papa Street Bridge. The only Illinois interstate delay currently is eastbound 5570, 111 into Black Lane is slow through that construction zone. But otherwise, it's been a pretty quiet Friday on the highway so far. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
A mix of sun and clouds today, very warm and humid with a high about 90. Look for a couple of strong to severe thunderstorms late this afternoon or tonight. Those thunderstorms can produce flooding downpours, damaging wind gusts, even an isolated tornado. Tonight's low 73. Tomorrow, plenty of clouds and not as warm but still humid. Look for a shower or two and maybe even a thunderstorm, high 83. For Sunday, intervals of clouds and sun, warm and humid. Still a risk of a thunderstorm in the afternoon, the high 87. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Currently, we have partly sunny skies, 74 degrees downtown at the Arch. This is Total Information on 104.1 FM KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch, and it's Friday. By this time, you may be pretty worn down. So we have a guest this morning that we hope will help you reset. Max Conan has faced a lot of adversity, but he has used those experiences to learn and gain momentum. He's author of the book, Start over to win, how to build the life you want when you don't have everything you need. Max, welcome to KMOX.
Oh, thank you so much, Megan, for having me this morning.
So you're doing a St. Louis tour. Thank you for stopping by the KMOX studios. Just to introduce you to everyone, you are originally from West Africa, Cote d'Ivoire. You suffered severe physical trauma as a child. Briefly tell us about that time in your life and how you came to be in the United States.
Right. Thank you. When I was about 4 years old, I got into a car accident, and it was a very traumatic event. It left me with a disability. I'm hearing currently from only one ear, and I also lost a sense of direction. And I had to learn to walk, to be able to hear people, from observing them, from reading their lips. So I had a different childhood. I would define myself at the time as a person who was very different. So I couldn't fit in the system that was developed there at the time. And so I had a dream to move somewhere where I would be more included. And, back in the days, we have MTVs, we have, the movies, American movies coming on. And so I felt like, well, this would be the best society for me to be in. And I think at the age of 24, I lost my mother suddenly. And I kind of lost it. We all do with some type of depression. And as a result, and as a I would say punishment from my family, they decided to send me to America to my brother, and which was a great opportunity for me. So when I came in the U.S., now I had to restart again to learn the language, to learn the system, to learn how to interact with people already with the disability that I had. And thanks to the good Lord, I was able to make it through. And here I am.
You have done a number of things. You started off, doing janitorial work?
Yes. Oh, man, that was a very trying moment and humbling moment. Can you imagine a person coming from law school and getting here, and the first job that you had, they hand you a map in a bucket to clean up, vomit. And it was a very trying experience. And I remember that day I cried. But at the same time, what I told myself that very day was that I'm going to use that moment to propel myself, even though it wasn't the environment where I was supposed to be, but there were some lessons to learn. There were some benefits to gain. For instance, or getting paid for to pay my tuitions, to take care of myself, and also communicating with people, improving my language. So yes, that's what I can say about that experience. It was very trying. Now from there, I became a teacher's assistant for a special ed program. It was also rewarding, being able to support people who needed help. And I recognized myself in them, and also recognized my mother, who also passed from a stroke at the time. I recognized her in the people that I was serving. Then I moved on to become a teacher, California credentialed teacher. Then from there, I passed on to become a businessman. I opened up a company called A Bright Future. I define it as, doing the good work. And what we do is we support individuals with disabilities, being included in society, or being a full member of the community. So that's what I've been doing for 13 years now. And I also have some little fun activities here to kind of decompress. We're talking about Friday. People need to decompress. So I would advise you to find something that will help you decompress, such a hobby. For mine is music.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, and listening to your story, I have to think the one big thing that strikes me is you had to take a lot of risks.
Yes.
You mentioned you had to humble yourself.
Yes.
To take those first positions here in the United States, take those risks, face that fear of failure. And I'm sure it wasn't always just like a straight uphill climb. And you've used that now to write your book. I love the first part of it where you're looking at, when we are facing some big challenge, something intimidating, we break it down into steps. Describe for our listeners what you mean by that.
Right. So I love it that you got my favorite framework. Brave. It's a brave framework. By the way, in the book, I have, several frameworks that I develop, and, I will invite you guys or the auditors to check them out. But what I mean by breaking down the barrier, sometimes we face issues, or we face circumstances or setbacks, and we feel defeated even before we started to even think about them. We feel defeated because of the size of the barrier. So what I found to be true, and I experienced in my own life, is to begin to break them down into small pieces, because a big issue is made of several small issues. So spend that time with the issue, spend that time with a setback, develop that intimate relationship with it, and so you get to understand what it's made of, and then you will begin to resolve them one by one.
We've only got a couple of minutes left.
Okay.
I think when a lot of people look at challenges in their lives, you mentioned like this overwhelming thing and trying to break it down. How do we adapt as we go through? Because that's not a skill we learn just overnight or once.
Right. Well, Megan, you have that. The good news is that you have that in you. Okay. Adapt with available resources. Look at yourself. What do I have right now that I can work with? What do I start? Okay. So it can be internal or external opportunities that you have. It can be some skills that you already have that, perhaps you don't think about. But I think, we need to use those challenges, those setbacks, as opportunity to look at ourselves, to be self-aware, to analyze and take an inventory of all the skills that we have. So I would say you already have that in you. It is a matter of taking that time to spend with yourself and thinking about all the good things that the good Lord bless you with, and all these skills that you have that you can use to resolve your issue.
Great food for thought for this weekend. Max, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Megan.
That is Max Conan. He is in St. Louis this weekend, talking with people about his book, Start Over to Win: How to Build the Life You Want When You Don't Have Everything You Need. Is there a website that we can direct people to where they can find out more?
Yes, the maxconan.com. And also you can join me or follow me on Instagram, Max Conan.
Great. And that is spelled Konan. Fantastic. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's get a check now of the roads again on this Friday morning. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, it's pretty quiet. It has been all morning for the most part, Megan, in the St. Louis metro area. This traffic reports service at Chesterfield Fence and Deck. In fact, speaking of Chesterfield, in that area, not far away, we have a minor crash reported on Manchester near Sulphur Spring. Now, that's where we normally have road work. There's a backup about midway back to Reese Road right now on eastbound Manchester in that area. It looks like they're still working the crash on 30 at Little Brennan, but there's just a slowdown westbound there as opposed to a short jam that we had earlier. So that's a better sign that they're getting that wrapped up. And the only delay on the Illinois side is eastbound 5570. Most of the way as you approach 111 into Black Lane is pretty heavy and slow right now. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is your premier provider of fences, decks, patios, sunrooms, and more. Call them for a free estimate today. Now offering 48 months interest-free financing on your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, chesterfieldfence.com. Next update at 8:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Thank you, Roger. And checking that forecast for today, we're going to have a mix of sun and clouds, warm and humid, a high of 90. And that's going to lead into some thunderstorms late this afternoon and tonight. Some of those could be severe. An overnight low around 73. For tomorrow, mostly cloudy, not as warm, but still humid, a high of 83. Right now, we have sunshine, 74 in downtown St. Louis.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-909-9696. 800-909-9696.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Spreadsheets, clunky software, 100 different logins just to run your business? Ah.
There's a better way. Odoo. One simple, connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more, so you can focus on growing, not juggling. Make the switch today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Welcome back. In case you missed it, Total Information AM runs down some of the top stories of the week every Friday at this time. Let's start this morning with local government. The city of Webster Groves taking legal action against a fireworks vendor who bailed just before the 4th of July. Councilmember Jamie Hasemeyer says the company left many towns, not just Webster, scrambling.
At 1 p.m. on Wednesday, our fireworks vendor, AM Pyrotechnics, abruptly notified us that they were backing out. They also defaulted on dozens of other cities across Missouri and Arkansas, forcing many cities to have to cancel their celebrations entirely or to have to reschedule them for later dates. Not quite the same as having it on Independence Day.
And the city plans to sue. St. Louis County Council members held off on passing next year's Metro Transit budget bill this week.
Bill number 113, introduced by Councilmember Webb. I move to hold bill
Rider
number
advocate
113.
Nicole Fitcham-Sheehan spoke during public comment, urging the council to keep funding bi-state development, but pressing for oversight. She told council members the agency hasn't been transparent about service issues.
They're not being as forthcoming with the information and things that are going on behind the scenes as far as accommodations and complaints. In addition, with retention of caller ride drivers as well as fixed route drivers, there are fixed route buses that are being pulled because there are no drivers, and the next bus is not coming for an hour to an hour and a half.
Moving to federal and state government, the White House says President Trump won't stop fighting for the SAVE Act. How would it impact people in Missouri? MissouriNet asked Secretary of State Denny Hoskins whether it could create challenges for younger voters and those in rural Missouri who rely heavily on online services.
And so you would have to actually go to the county clerk's office or go to a voter registration fair that many of these local election authorities and county clerks put on. So I think it would still be readily available. And the main reason that they're doing that is so that you would provide that proof of citizenship when you register to vote in person, as well as a photo ID.
If enacted, the SAVE Act would require citizenship documents like a passport, birth certificate, or naturalization papers when registering to vote. Illinois leading the nation in AI law. Governor J.B. Pritzker signed the Artificial Intelligence Safety Measures Act this week.
If the federal government isn't going to take up the mantle, which is so disappointing when you think about how incredibly important this technological change is to the future of this country, then it's going to have to be the laboratories of democracy, the laboratories of new ideas, the states that lead us. And we'll do that here in Illinois.
The law requires large frontier AI developers to assess potential catastrophic risks. It also requires them to report any critical artificial intelligence safety incidents to state emergency management within 72 hours. An average of 30 million people watched the World Cup broadcast on Fox Monday. That makes it the most watched soccer broadcast in American history. That number doesn't even include the Spanish language audience watching on Telemundo. City SC Academy Director Dale Schilly says none of that surprises him, and he's pointing to history to explain why.
From a games perspective and developing the game in this country, we saw a mushroom effect after the 94 World Cup. And we'll see the same thing here, that just renewed enthusiasm, new fans for the sport, just a new level of commitment and excitement about the game.
But many soccer fans are saying the U.S. red card controversy involving President Trump may have killed U.S. World Cup dreams. I asked St. Louis City SC broadcaster Jen Cease about the flap. Does this now overshadow anything that the U.S. men's national team did during these games?
Yeah, I think in a way it does, unfortunately. When you look back, the USA men's team was finding what the women's team was able to find a little while ago, and that's just an identity. How do we want to play? We want to play different than just trying to survive a tournament. And they walked into this one with doing just that.
The U.S. men's national team was knocked out by Belgium 4-1 on Monday night. It's now 8:27. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelley Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Let's see if things are winding down any on the roads. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad around here, Megan. This traffic report's a service of Scott Credit Union because the highways have been pretty quiet all morning long. The only place we have delays is a roadwork slowdown on eastbound 5570 approaching 111 all the way into Black Lane, which is just before you get to 255. Otherwise, the rest of the interstates, like I said, on both sides of the river are in great shape. Still seeing a little backup. There was a minor crash reported, but there's also roadwork going on east of Sulphur Spring on eastbound Manchester. So there is a backup about midway in from there to Reese Road. And I've been talking about all the flooding down to the southwest of us. A lot of roads closed down that way. In fact, Annapolis is pretty hard hit because K west of Annapolis is closed, 49 south of Annapolis is closed, and C east of Annapolis all closed. Also, I mentioned N near Johnson shut-ins, just north of the shut-ins is shut down. 72 is closed east of Lesterville. V east of Davisville, that's where people were reportedly on the roofs of their homes earlier this morning. 49 between Davisville and Dillard, so that's a tough area. Double T in Sligo and 19 just north of Sligo is also closed. So it's really an active situation. And again, water rescue crews from all over the St. Louis metro area down there currently assisting local municipalities with all the rescues that are needing to be done, and they're actively searching for trying to get out as many people out as they can. Next update at 8:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Upgrade your summer ride with auto loan rates as low as 3.99% APR at Scott Credit Union. New or used, Scott Credit Union helps you love your ride and your rate. Learn more at scu.org. Rates vary, terms and conditions apply.
From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, a mix of sun and clouds today, warm and humid, a high of 90. Of course, Roger's talking about some of those flooded areas, and we could see some more strong to severe thunderstorms late this afternoon and tonight. Those could produce more flooding, downpours, damaging wind gusts, even an isolated tornado. So stay with KMOX Radio for the latest. Expect a high today of 90, an overnight low of 73. Right now, we have sunshine, 74 downtown at the Arch. You're listening to Total Information AM here on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch, and it's time for our weekly visit with KMOX travel editor Peter Greenberg, host of Peter Greenberg Worldwide, airing weekends here on KMOX. Good morning, Peter.
And good morning.
I have to ask first, where are you joining us from this morning?
From the top of the mountain kingdom of Lesotho in Africa.
I'm jealous.
I'm cold.
Well, we can't wait to see what you're doing there.
It's winter here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's winter here, and it's ski time.
Are you going to get to take in some of that?
We are. We're going to be snowmobiling today and snowboarding. It's part of our big series that we do called the Royal Tour with the King of Lesotho. It'll be airing later this year.
Fantastic. Well, unfortunately, we have to get back to some things that aren't quite so fun, and that includes the airfares that we're seeing. It looks like things are firing up again in Iran. So what are you seeing with airfares as a result of that?
Well, I'll give you the bad news first. You're absolutely correct. In general, the airfares are not going to be coming down for quite some time, even though jet fuel prices have started to come down. Of course, the actual start of a battle right now means they may be going back up. But either if they stop, the airlines have about $1 billion each to recoup in oil prices that they didn't count on. So don't expect fares to come down, except with one exception, and we'll be talking about on the show. And that's next month, August. We're seeing airfares dropping 6% over where they were last year, which is unprecedented considering everything else that's going on. And the reason for that? Affordability. The airfares have become too high. People are holding back on their trips. So August becomes suddenly a bargain.
Now, let's talk about Spirit Airlines. What's happening there, and what does that mean for travelers?
Well, when Spirit Airlines went away, everybody felt, okay, that was going to be run to other airlines. Well, guess what? Most of the passengers who fly Spirit or flew Spirit last year, those Spirit flyers are not flying other airlines right now. They're still traveling. They're going by train or by bus. That means the other low-fare carriers like Frontier have a problem because, them, not many. They just canceled 34 different routes on their schedule, which is not a good sign if you're an ultra-low-cost carrier.
All right. Peter Greenberg Worldwide airs weekends here on KMOX. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, and have fun.
You got it.
All right. You can also listen to Peter on petergreenberg.com.
Bill, that's a big smile for an old politician.
I'm thinking about our plan. It's slick enough to make a lobbyist blush. First, we hoodwink voters with Amendment 5. Tell them it's a tax cut. Once they're hooked, we decide who pays the higher taxes.
So it's not a tax cut plan, and we don't get a say?
Right, just swaps who pays the tax, but it does remove 3 voter-passed taxpayer constitutional protections. That lets us levy new taxes on services, increase sales taxes, and even tax home sales. And voters will no longer get to vote on tax hikes.
Higher sales taxes on groceries, gas, service taxes on doctor visits, childcare, and even rent on apartments. Jeez. Taxes could exceed 20%.
Sure, they figure that up to 80% of taxpayers will pay more taxes. Many, hundreds more. Seniors, they'll get hit even harder, but our big donors will cut a fat hog.
The ones getting butchered by Amendment 5 are most taxpayers. I'm voting no on 5.
Paid for by Missourians for fair taxation.
This year, America celebrates 250 years. 2.5 centuries of courage, sacrifice, and family stories passed down from one generation to the next. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger, founders of Legacy Box. Your family's piece of the American story is sitting in an attic or closet right now, trapped on aging VHS tapes, camcorder tapes, film reels, and fading photos.
Those boxes hold moments you can never recreate. Your wedding day, your children's voices when they were little, grandparents coming back to life on screen.
Over 2 million families have trusted Legacy Box. And we've just partnered with the USO to digitize fragile handwritten letters from World War II, helping preserve American history for future generations.
As America turns 250, remember that your family is a part of the American story. Preserving those voices, faces, and moments is a part of your responsibility to the next generation. Don't let them.
Visit legacybox.com/radio for our amazing America 250 sale. That's legacybox.com/radio to save.
Your Money Report now. It's sponsored by Eamon Gattner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys. Here's Bloomberg's Courtney Donahoe.
OpenAI is trying to appeal to more business professionals. It's rolling out a new artificial intelligence agent that's meant to tackle a wider range of complex tasks for hours at a time. ChatGPT work is designed to help create documents, spreadsheets, presentations, and web applications. OpenAI and rival Anthropic have been racing to build more sophisticated agents for work tasks. And the rising cost of owning a home have some young Americans questioning whether buying a house is still a good investment. According to a survey by the Pew Research Center, less than a quarter of those between 18 and 39 say buying a home is a very good investment, compared with 38% of those over 60. Wages having kept up with surging prices and ownership costs. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Let's take a break.
Good idea.
Hey, Tom, what are you doing on that Amendment 4?
You know, we fought for our freedom and rights. I'm not giving them away without a fight.
4 takes them?
That's exactly what 4 does. For over 100 years, Missouri voters have used our constitutional power to act when the politicians refused. I'll be darned if I'm voting to pass on less freedom and power to my kids.
And doesn't 4 also kill majority rule?
Yup. Creates minority rule, where just 5% of the most liberal statewide voters in one Missouri congressional district that block any citizen-led reform, making it nearly impossible to pass common-sense conservative citizen ballot measures.
That's crazy town stuff.
And we've needed our citizen ballot measure power to pass some big conservative stuff, like outlawing tax hikes without voter approval, lobbyist reforms, and term limits for career politicians.
No way I'm letting a tiny fraction of liberals derail our conservative power. I'm no on Amendment 4.
Hard no on 4.
Petty 4 buttons are inch prepare governance.
Seeing more bees, wasps, or hornets around your home? Carpenter bees can damage wood structures, and wasps and hornets often hide nests inside walls. Don't risk getting stung. Let Rottler Pest Solutions protect your home and family. Call Rottler today or visit Rottler.com.
Let's see how things are doing on the roads. Roger Brand has an update for us from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we got a new injury crash down south, Megan. Steve Butts and the entire Crawford Butts family wish America a very happy 250th. It's northbound 55, about midway between McNutt and Highway Z, or north of McNutt, I guess we can call it. But the left lane is closed, so only the right lane's open in their work zones. There's a jam approaching McNutt on northbound 55 up to that crash scene. Other than that, the rest of the highways look great. On the Missouri side of the river, we do have an incident in North County. It looks like, though, I can't see what lane's blocked. There is a crash here or a stall. It's eastbound 270, just past Graham Hanley. It's just jammed back to 170 right now. That's the other trouble spot on the Missouri side. And then it's just road work on the Illinois side, eastbound 5570, slow, approaching 111 up to Black Lane just before you get to 255. As America celebrates its 250th anniversary, Steve Butts and everyone at Crawford Butts Insurance extend their heartfelt wishes for a safe and joyous summer of celebration. For generations, Crawford Butts has been proud to serve the community. Steve Butts and the entire Crawford Butts family wish America a very happy 250th. I'm Roger Brand of the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Time for the Friday edition of Hancock and Kelley.
You two belong together.
John Hancock, Michael Kelley on 104.1 FM, King of OX.
Good morning, John Hancock.
Top of the morning.
Good to see you. I saw you yesterday.
Yeah.
Because we were taping our final episode for America Revisited.
We were. It's a good one.
Yeah. We talked about the Roosevelts.
We did. Both of them.
Both of them.
Yeah.
And
really interesting about the Roosevelts. So, the patriarch of the family came to the America in 1633. Very early. And settled in New York in what was then called New Amsterdam. And he was Dutch from Amsterdam. And so he comes to New Amsterdam. He has two sons that survive. And one branch of the family becomes Franklin Roosevelt, and they were Democrats.
Right.
And the other son's branch of the family settled in Long Island. And they were Republicans in Oyster Bay, and that was what produced ultimately Theodore Roosevelt. So they were fifth cousins,
right? And if people want to hear America Revisited on Sunday mornings, we broadcast it right here on KMOX from 8 to 9 a.m.
That is correct.
You can also go to the Odyssey app, iTunes Store. I guess Google has one of those as well. Or not iTunes Store, the podcasts. Anywhere you get your podcast, just put in America Revisited.
Yeah.
Hancock and Kelley.
I believe this Sunday is going to be the lesser known presidents.
Yes.
And we did. And that was a really interesting interview as well.
Yeah. And I specifically asked about, I'll ask you this question. Who do you think the greatest American was that did not become president?
Well, I mean, Franklin, Hamilton.
Yeah. Martin Luther King.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be a pretty good list because we haven't had that many presidents.
Right. Franklin, man, the guy was unbelievable, right? I mean, not only was he one of the fathers of our democracy, he went and cut the deal with the French to pay for our independence, helped us fund that war.
Quite the ladies' man.
A ladies' man, winds up being an ambassador. At the same time, he's like, he's writing prolifically.
Yeah.
Really gets the printing press going, gets a bunch of newspapers happening. And
extremely wealthy and came from nothing.
Right. And also credited with the trade winds and understanding the way that the, the jet stream worked and being able and why England wasn't frozen over because of the jet stream.
Yeah, he was really something.
I think he may be my favorite non-American who didn't become president. And of course, Martin Luther King. You don't remember Martin Luther King, do you? Being when you were younger?
No, because he was assassinated when I was 4.
Yeah. See, I don't. Of course, you remember Elvis Presley.
I do.
Yeah, and who else would be somebody like that? Frank Sinatra. Can you remember Sinatra?
Of course.
Yeah. Did you ever go to a Sinatra concert?
I did not.
No. Your parents ever go?
Probably not.
Hey, some news coming out of this battle for the Senate. Graham Plattner, the candidate that, Bernie Sanders and a lot of the populists on the left were really excited about in Maine. Of course, they're trying to take out Susan Collins.
Turns out he's a horrible human being.
Well, what would have given that away? First, he's got a Nazi tattoo on his chest.
Yeah.
They've known about that for well over a year.
Yeah.
There had been allegations of him being abusive in previous relationships.
Mm-hmm.
It appears as though this latest allegation has really stuck. But, I mean, I guess everybody's surprised the guy's a creep. We've known he's a creep.
Right. And, this is, I think, puts in real jeopardy the Democrats' chances of taking the U.S. Senate in November.
Right. And, one of the places that the Democrats really had to win was Maine. And Susan Collins is always sitting up there in a seat that really probably should be held by the Democrats.
So they've got to get +4 in this election.
Right.
So they've got to win North Carolina.
Which I think happens.
Yeah, the former governor, Roy Cooper, is running as a Democrat. And, he's, at this point, I think he's the favorite.
Right.
They've got to hold Michigan.
Tougher.
Yeah, but I think, in this environment, in this cycle, that should be fine. But then, where do you go? So
I think
Maine,
you were hoping for Maine, and then your Hail Mary was Texas.
Right.
And Texas may seem more probable now than Maine.
Yeah. And they've got to hold Georgia with John Ossoff. I think they will do that. So, yeah, they're chances for pickups. You look at Ohio as a state where they may have a shot.
Just back to that Texas thing for a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, the Republicans couldn't have picked a worse candidate than James Paxton, and they had an incumbent, Ken Paxton.
James is an actor,
right? They had an incumbent who would have won handily had he came out of the primary.
John
President
Cornyn.
Trump kind of sabotaged that. You got this James Tallarico. You know, Democrats on my side of the aisle, we've always been salivating. You know, we've had Beto O'Rourke,
and
we've had
it just never happens.
But the smart people say this is a real probability this time that the suburbs in Texas are just angry.
Yeah, I mean, if it's ever going to happen, this would be the cycle to do it. I'm not convinced that it's doable for Democrats in Texas, but I mean, this is going to be a real test in this fall.
That is John Hancock. I'm Michael Kelley. We're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll visit about everything that's on the commercials, Amendment 4 and 5.
Hey.
After this on the Mighty Mox.
If you've been told that you need a new heating and cooling system for your home, and if you've gotten prices or you're going to get prices, call me. Try to stay away from the word high efficiency or efficiency. If you replace your system now and it's 12, 15, or 20 years old, you are greatly improving the efficiency just by replacing the old, inefficient unit. Do not be fooled. If you want a common sense approach and you just want your house cooled, I will help you. If you're good with that, call me. One easy number. It's Missouri and Illinois. The easiest of numbers, 314-293-2600, or on the internet, bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Retirement. Exciting in one way, scary in others. How do you find the financial advisor that covers all the bases? Join Greg Ayler Saturdays at 1 on Fire Your Financial Advisor.
No! USA is up 2-0. That is the most dangerous lead in soccer.
Relax, Mike.
See that, Dan? My left eye is twitching. That's my warning eye. It'll be 2-2 by stoppage time. It's never wrong.
With early payout from Bet365, I got paid the second they went up 2 goals. So to me, it's now the safest lead.
Early payout from Bet365, huh? Now my right eye is twitching, Dan.
Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Missouri. T's and C's apply. In-app only.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio. 104.1 FM KMOX.
John, it's that time, man. You turn on the television, you listen to the radio, you look at your social media feed. What do you get?
Ads.
Political ads. And it's Christmas for you and I. This is what we like to do. We deploy a lot of those commercials. Neither of us are deploying commercials in Amendments 4 and 5. Amendment 4, that's the one that kind of changes the amendment process in Missouri. Funded opposition against it. Nobody's really pushing it. The legislature is trying to change the way that we do amendments.
So there's 2 ways to get on the ballot statewide for an issue, either through what we call a referendum, which is something the legislature passes. It's a resolution, and then the legislature then places that on the ballot. That's what Amendment 4 is. That's what Amendment 5 is. Those are referenda. And the other way is initiative, which is where you go out and collect signatures from 6 out of the 8 congressional districts, thousands of them, submit them, and if you have enough signatures, that then gets placed on the ballot. And amendment,
that's more like a minimum wage and gambling, and
right,
etc. Okay.
Yeah, Pott. So Amendment 4 attempts to change the initiative process by requiring constitutional amendments to have to pass in each of the 8 congressional districts in the state.
Almost impossible to do.
So you know, in theory, an amendment could get 65% of the vote, lose 1 congressional district, and not become part of the Constitution. I don't think this thing's going to pass.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to have much support anywhere. I think everybody's afraid of the tyranny of the minority, if you will.
Yeah.
Because you could literally pass something with 65% of the vote.
Right.
Statewide,
That's
but
right.
it loses down in Cape Girardeau, and therefore it
You're
doesn't
done.
happen.
Yeah, and which is a shame, because I do think principally what the legislature was hoping to get at is creating a higher standard to amend the Constitution than a simple majority.
Yep.
Which I think in principle is correct. That's the right approach. But this solution is just too much. They should have said, set a 60% threshold of statewide voting. That would have accomplished what they're trying to get at here. And I think the public would be a lot more receptive of that.
It will be interesting to see how that shakes out. I, too, will be voting no, and I bet it fails. The other one, Amendment 5, of course, this one's got folks on all sides. Governor Kehoe, who really a remarkable political story, winds up winning a three-way primary inside the Republican Party.
Yep.
Really brings together some unique coalitions, gets elected handily governor.
Yep.
Immediately deals with some tough things, right? It's got some budget shortfalls. It's got the Chiefs potentially going to move. Decides that he's going to stake his claim on doing away with the state income tax, and moves that through the legislature this year, puts it to the ballot. And now Governor Kehoe making this his signature issue, if you will, where there's this movement to do away with the state income tax. I know it's something you're supportive of.
I am.
Because you think it takes place in a reasonable fashion. Explain.
Yeah, so it phases out. It doesn't do away immediately with the income tax. It phases it out, dependent to a certain extent on revenue growth. So, and which is what the state's been doing for a while now, is reducing the income tax as revenue has grown. And all the doomsday sayers, back when that process started, we've gone from the 6% tax to I think we're at 4.7, something like that now. And, the people like the Missouri Budget Project, that left-wing group, they said the sky's falling no, it's not.
Well, but John, in fairness, independent of Amendment 5, the governor's having to make some major vetoes and cut some regular services that are usually paid for because we don't have the revenue coming into the state of Missouri. That's independent of what he's trying to do with getting away with all of it.
Yeah, but the big problem there is that we had all of this largesse of federal money, whether it was the COVID relief, the ARPA funding, and the Missouri legislature spent money that they shouldn't have.
So explain to me, the idea is to do away with the state income tax, but it only happens once we have surplus. And then who gets to decide how we make up that revenue? Because at the end of the day, we still got to pay for roads.
Yeah, the legislature will. And what they'll do is they'll expand the sales tax. The sales tax addition will be about 2.8%. On sales tax, and that will apply to services as well. The income tax decrease will be, about 5% for people. So unless you spend more than you make, you come out ahead on this.
Boil it down. Why is it the idea?
Well, it's every place it's been done, every place income tax has been eliminated, has seen economic growth and substantial economic growth.
Yeah, I think it's a terrible idea, and they keep saying that it's also going to grow population. Well, we've been cutting taxes in this state for almost 10 years that the Republicans have been in charge. We don't have roads that y'all been in charge?
Well, we've been in charge, but it hadn't been that long that we've been reducing the income tax.
Right. Well, we have not been growing population, and now there's this panacea idea that, suddenly everybody's going to flood to Missouri. And don't worry about it, Kelley. When people go to Branson, they're going to wind up paying for everything. I think it's a bunch of hogwash.
Well, I mean, tourism's our second biggest industry. And so
tourism's everybody's second biggest industry.
If you shift away from income to sales tax, by definition, a greater percentage of that money is going to be paid by non-Missourians.
I just don't get why I'm going to have to go to get my hair cut now, and I'm going to have to pay sales tax on it. When I got to talk to my lawyer, I'm going to have to pay sales tax on it. It's a bad idea.
Well, I think it's a great idea. Chris and Amy are next, though, right here.
That's a good idea.
On KMOX.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Health Trends, sponsored by Ethos.
Dancing provides measurable benefits for people with Parkinson's disease. A 3-year Canadian study